wait for it. It's gonna do it. We are live. Hi, everybody. Ray, good to glad to have you. Raven, good to glad to have you. Kiko, good to glad to have you. Infinite, good to glad to have you. Rough morning, my other MMO is getting shut down. Oh, I'm trying to sort all that out. That sucks, Kiko. Which one? Blink, good to see you, glad to have you.
That's me.
Okay. Well, Naniri, my friend, how are you?
I'm good. I'm sleepy, but I'm good. I'm perpetually sleepy. I'm EP.
Yes. Well, we'll definitely get you going for at least the next little bit here.
Hell yeah.
For those who don't know, we're playing through Final Fantasy IV. We're going through the next section. Honestly, we probably only have 2 more sections left, potentially. Would you like to remind the people what we did last time?
Yeah, we've torn through this game. This game is way shorter than we realized. We've brought down most of the 4 fiends, except for Rubicante. We've killed the other 3. We've rescued Rosa. We've got Sid on side now. We've got our little international coalition with Yang on side. You know, we've got a good basis here. We're about ready to take down Rubicante and then go fight on the moon.
Yeah. It's also been, you know, so far we haven't had any moments. Oh, here, give me a second. Let me adjust my volume real quick. We haven't had any real moments as of yet, like 3 that kind of dropped the ball. However, 3 did start, lost its pace about halfway through, but also it dropped its ball real at the end at the last goalpost there with the dash thing. So
yeah,
we've got, there's room still yet.
Yeah.
Ray, good to see, glad to have you. Yukio, good to see, glad to have you. Sam, good to see, glad to have you. AC, good to see, glad to have you. Light, good to see, glad to have you.
AC, well, Golbez's armor is definitely knighty. You know, he's never been a sword fighter. Like, he's always been magic and then his dragon, which obviously his dragon is, well, spoilers.
Right.
But in the original game in Dissidia, he has a cool dragon.
Yeah, and I guess, like, the other thing to me is, like, I feel like it is in no way necessarily not indicative of... We're talking about his Final Fantasy XIV design for anyone who's unaware. In my mind, that... how am I supposed to kill these? I don't have anything with magic that's strong enough to kill in one shot. Just basically wait till they retreat.
Yeah.
The thing I would say is that if you think about what Dark Knight represents in terms of 14's lore and storytelling, like setting aside aesthetics for a second, I think the great sword, I think, is a pretty perfect symbol for him as a character.
Yeah, definitely he could
Isn't that misleading? Well, not necessarily. Like, just because swords were status symbols doesn't mean that all knights, like... It also, like... There's a difference between the idea of what a knight represents, like knightly virtue, or, like, because of plate armor or any other number of things, versus must have... Like, most knights didn't wield great swords, right? Like, you could say, well, it's a great sword, misleading, shouldn't it be a sword? But I think at that point you're, like, trying to...
I would say that the term knight has a lot more to unpack there. You know, a knight was, in truth, an administrator who, you know, was called to war. And when they went to war, they probably were fighting with, like, lances more than anything else. Swords were definitely a status symbol, but I would not at all say that it's such an essential part of the knightly. Like, you could have a knight with a whip if you wanted. I don't care.
I think there's also a really, really important thing that I can't talk about because of spoilers necessarily, but I would just say that it's also important to remember that Golbez in 14 is not Golbez.
Yeah.
Golbez in 14 is
Golbez in 14.
Well, no. I mean, have you played 6.4 yet, Niniri?
No. I'm waiting until I finish work.
Go watch for anyone who is wondering what the hell I'm talking about, go watch the Echo Vision again during the story.
That's okay though.
Finally, we can stop thinking about Cagnazzo's wet head.
You can. That's your choice.
Yeah. Niniri is always looking for that wet head. Yukio, I'm sadly praying there's a FF14 merch in the con.
That would be cool.
Oh, the con you're going to? Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'll probably be
I mean, 14's big enough now. Yeah, that it would be pretty surprising if there wasn't at least, like, Jobstone art or something.
If you go to the artist alley, there'll be something there. In the context of his design, he's not a traditional mage. Well, what does that matter?
What the hell does a traditional mage mean? You know, like if you're only saying that the representation for like a wizard or a sorcerer or a mage has to embody no armor and robes or something, what you're doing there then is just kind of applying what's become an iconic representation, partly due to video games from the past 20 years. I mean, plenty of dark, evil, like Sauron in Tolkien, right, is an incredibly powerful sorcerer as well. You know? Yeah. Morgoth was incredibly proficient with magics.
Yeah, I don't think, and especially in, you know, in Japan, obviously 14. Obviously 4 is very westernized in some of its aesthetics, but at the same time, you know, like it is grounded in Japanese culture as an origin point, and mages there are a whole different thing and less of a thing in sort of how specifically they're outlined. At least
it's also hard to know because of how much 14's pulling from Western fantasy for its like iconography at times, but then also how it'll abruptly just start using its you know, Japanese historical influences.
Yeah.
Also, Kiko, I'm sorry Swords of Legend is going offline. That really is a bummer.
Oh, Elio will be streaming 16.
Yes, I will be streaming 16. He's cold at night, and yet he's not riding a horseback. Yeah, exactly. But I went cold turkey with soda, but now I'm addicted to Gatorade. I mean, look, hey, you gotta make it. You gotta survive somehow. Next time you say samurais and FF don't have bows. Yeah, I mean, exactly, yeah.
Give me Nagana.
The Divine Comedy... Yeah, right. The divine... Or, yeah, I mean, the amount of just spears that are represented... Like, the sword-to-spear ratio in fantasy games compared to reality is quite scuffed, for sure. Yeah. The Divine Comedy is quite heavy in 4, isn't it? Yeah. Did you think that the devs had a copy to go through for reference material? I wouldn't be surprised if whoever was writing the primary aspects of it for 4 or 14 would not have gone through it. I mean, like, look, not that Americans don't do this too, but it's kind of like the amount of Japanese who like will read something Jungian or read something like will take some author and use it as some kind of like root inspiration for creating, you know, whether it's your Personas or your Silent Hill 4? No. Which Silent Hill was it? Just Shattered Memories? I think it was one of the later one.
Oh, it's one of the wee ones, yeah. Shattered Memories is
I know one of them
better of the two.
All I know is one of them they just straight up were like, what if we just did a Kafka?
Yeah. No, it's hard to fight. It's hard to decide with Divine Comedy because so much of it is so entrenched in pop culture that it's just sort of omnipresent. Like, yes, there is a certain degree of that aspect to it, sort of the aspect of, you know, to get the true measure of it, you have to refer back to the text. But at the same time, if you look to the surface level stuff, that's just present in pop culture. Like, you don't need to go deep dive.
You really don't need to go further than much further than a general pop culture understanding of like the Inferno to like to get the demons' names, right? Because like other than like a lot of names, it's not as if like and the idea of kind of like I don't even want to say ascension because really that's not like Dante is just basically a visitor passing through for the most part throughout most of the story. He's not like Cecil where he's overcoming his own foibles in particular.
And I think at the same time we have to recognize that Squeenix in this era and 14 as well. Japanese devs, I would say, went really hard on sort of etymology and naming. So honestly, they probably. You know, they were aware of names in the Divine Comedy. They were aware of, like, the Goetic demons. They fucking love those.
I mean, and even just, like, the amount... I mean, things we take for granted, right? Like, the idea of Bahamut and, like, many of the summons or names that were in this were not super common. I don't want to say super commonly known, but, like, weren't as mainstream as some of them now. Now, you, like, Shiva, it's like, everyone knows Shiva, or everyone, you know, like, it's heard of Bahamut or something, but it's... Yeah. You know, this would have been this would have been 90s at this point.
Right.
But the point still stands.
It's
Exodus is sorry, go ahead.
It's relevant that we're playing this game considering the Primal that just got released.
Yes. Yes. No too much spoilers, but yes. Well, Exodus is Canocte, Warlock. Giddy looks like a knight, pretty close to Golbez, actually. He does. I always thought he does kind of look slightly different color scheme, but he's also a sentient tree, so
yeah.
Imagine how terrifying Sith would be if they can do Force Meteors. Elio, will you be playing 16? Yes. Funny you mentioned Exdeath because that was also a reference, but big difference. Exdeath has a sword, so he pulls off the look. Wait, what? But you're saying Exdeath has a sword, so he pulls off the look, but Golbez has a sword, so he pulls off the look.
So he doesn't pull off the look, is what they're saying.
Oh.
Because Golbez doesn't have a sword, but Exdeath does, so. But I think that's a little oblique.
That seems like an odd perspective. Yeah.
I get it. I get it, but...
Yeah, weird question. If your Warrior of Light has dominant for a primal, which one would it be? I guess I don't know. Like we haven't played 16 yet, so.
But if we were going for like 14 primals, like what would Elio?
Yeah,
have?
I get.
Thoradin?
No.
Paladin.
I mean, honestly, I was gonna. That's Warrior of Light, right? Like you go. The Warrior of Light primal of.
Is he okay? Are we extending it to that sort of level of primal, or are we going like culturally primals?
He's summoned by Aether, Faith, and is brought. He's the same thing as Shiva, and yeah.
But he's not culturally.
No, but he absolutely is, because he's the concept of the first Warrior of Light. You even get that legend during like 5.1 or 5.2, right, where you're going through the legend of the first Warrior of Light, and there's the art, and that's like where his imagery comes from.
I guess true. Yeah.
He's like specifically seeded in the world as this like symbol of hope, this hero, mankind's last hope and its salvation. You know.
So Elio would become a Warrior of Light.
Yeah. I mean, like, maybe that's boring, but I feel like that's the most resonant to me.
I'm struggling with Niniri.
Susano, just revel in the glory of combat.
She would probably go, like, if we're not going to, like, ones that we see in game, she'd probably go, like, Eorzean. Like a summoned version of Eorzean.
Okay. Well, okay, but have you done Mist of the Realm?
Yeah, no.
Because...
I get it, but, like... she wouldn't go for that, but she'd go for the summoned version. Like they were trying to do with Ralga.
Fair enough. All I'm just saying is you can't come at me with a technicality, then use an example of something that's.
You're right, I know, but.
Okay, so we got to Agar and we got a magma item rock that we're supposed to throw down this well. So we're gonna throw this down as well. It sure looks deep. A stone with the power of magma locked within.
Oh.
What in the world?
Seems dangerous.
Jesus Christ.
How powerful is that rock?
I'm pretty sure that was just an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Like we just straight up through. It was a magma rock because it felt like uranium or something.
Oh, Yukio. Well, Niniri is not sort of Eastern themed. Niniri is sort of like, well, she's from Sharlayan, but she's yeah, she doesn't really have that theming. So, Jack Garland, Josh.
Damn Elio in the same way. Yeah, crazy idea. Dominate Warrior of Light become. Yep, infinite. Yeah, you got it. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm overly sincere. I don't find Jack as much of a mood. I mean, the thing is that him taking the piss out of the game that he's in, while also it trying to be earnest about him thinking about what's going on, is a wild ride in FF Origins.
Yeah, Elio loves his thematic consistency, which I do as well.
I to a fault, I'll say. What? The Red Wings.
I've forgotten all my voices. Oh, these are ugly.
Air battle. What, the tanks?
Yeah.
They look like Advance Wars.
Yeah, they are. I don't like orange.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not a fan either. Give me blue any day.
I like how we just stood still for it. That's cool. Don't move. Yeah, by all means.
What? How did they beat us here? And who are they fighting?
Oh, I do Sid right. What was I doing for Sid? Who remembers?
I think something like vaguely, almost said ethnic there. Like what are the patrons of a random bar in the town in which he grew up?
Oh yes. Okay, hold on. I was a bit Scottish when I tried to trial it in mute. Oh my gosh, I've lost my home accent. I'm gonna bust through the line. Yeah, Scottish again. Hang on.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You gotta get a key phrase. You gotta get a key phrase you can say that helps you get back into it.
You're right. No, then I went Liverpudlian. Ah, rough. Okay, just
I think you're okay.
Continue on and I'll work on it.
I'm gonna bust through the line. Hang on. Why is it every time we get a goddamn airship, we lose it right away?
Show it all together. That was a little bit more.
Yeah, we're going down.
Cecil. What was it? Cecil. Hmm?
No, that was right. You were good. Rosa. But fuck all the rest of you. Is everyone all right?
Yeah, but the Enterprise, we had to land. It's too risky to fly in this. I went Irish.
Just go as either like Scottish or Liverpoolian as hardcore as you can. Just commit to it and just run with it.
All right, I'll go Liverpoolian. This will be shocking.
We have no choice. Let's take her down. What is the name of this song? Because have we used this song in well, because this is just the Overworld song. It's just called Underworld.
Oh, okay. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Dynasty Warriors music.
Yeah, I definitely can hear that. I'm just laughing because, like, obviously they started using the Overworld theme in a couple of the song themes for current patches in 14.
Yeah.
And it's been nice to be like, oh, it's like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Oh. An armadillo. Look at that big scary armadillo. I think I'd like to touch an armadillo. But don't they have rabies?
Do they? I've touched an armadillo.
I feel like they have something. God damn, King.
Look, at least it's not as bad as the koalas and their chlamydia.
Oh man, koalas suck. I mean, they're very cute, but... FF Warriors. Yeah, that'd be a fun idea for a game.
Lally ho! This is the Dwarven Castle. King Giet rules here. Oh, Giet! Like in 14. Go see King Giet. Gobez evil, but you don't look evil.
Leprosy? What? They have leprosy?
They have leprosy?
Jesus.
Wild, Ray. I think the dominant of the Warrior of Light can use all icons. Well, wait. I mean, yeah, I guess I don't know. Like, the thing is, if your question is, let's apply a completely different game's rule of logic to the primary character of this game with a completely different metaphysics, it's like, you gotta just do willy-nilly whatever you want at that point. You could, like, because, for instance, what does it mean to be a sundered individual in the world of 16 when that doesn't, like, function doesn't exist? Would that restrict your abilities as a dominant? What even creates a dominant necessarily? Because we don't know yet. We don't know. Is it necessarily actually a blessing from the crystals? Is it a byproduct of the Fallen and some technology that they have or use?
You have to have sex with an icon.
Why do I get the feeling that there's going to be something to what you just said? King Giet is waiting. I'm Luca. My doll disappeared. Have you seen them? Yes, I'm going to have to deal with them much later, sadly.
Yes, we have. And she's a playable character in the sequel. Needle.
Do we need any? I want to get crosses just in case we have to deal with vampires.
Have you ever done a playthrough of Elden Ring where you've betrayed Millennia? I haven't been able to. Millicent, sorry.
Oh, no.
I never can.
Oh, betrayed Millicent? No. No, I can never bring myself to do. Like, that's the sort of stuff that I'll look. I've also never done like a genocide run on Undertale. Like,
I have to admit.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to do that stuff. Dwarven items hold magical powers. Humans can't handle them. Lolly ho! No entry. This room is off limits.
I wouldn't apply an M rating to 14, right? I think the higher the rating, the more that it can explore.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think 14's story as it is, like, the amount that they get away with already, the only thing that they already get away with showing blood. They already get away with showing, like, the main thing that they're prevented from doing is lots in the way of overt sexual references, like, the amount of blood, swearing, but, like, 14 doesn't need swearing. It already gets away with a ton of swearing as is. It already gets away with showing blood when it needs to.
Yeah.
And most of the time that it's terrifying or horrifying, it's never because of the amount of blood. And then, I mean, the thing is that they already do have a lot of, like, sexual references and stuff in the background of the world building. They just don't overtly in the story, but I think that's partly because it's not the thing that they're interested in telling.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to, like... The Warrior of Light isn't a defined character like Clive, so they're not going to, like, give you a canonic relationship. What? What's wrong with Clive?
Well, I don't hate the name. That's not fair. I don't like the name for a Final Fantasy protagonist.
Okay, you know what? Wait, no, we need to take a second. I know, like, obviously we've stepped, like, 5 steps today, but, I think our Final Fantasy main characters, because we there's a conversation to be had here about the list of the protagonists and all their names, because 3 obviously doesn't really have any because of the Onion Kids, but so you have Cecil in 4, you have Bartz in 5, so already not off to the hottest of starts. 6 you have Terra, you know, you can make some arguments about that, but Cloud, your character's name goddamn Cloud in 7. Squall. Cloud works, but if 7 was coming out and you had never played it and your character was like, this guy's name is Cloud.
I've read enough manga that wouldn't bother me.
Okay. Squall, I mean, fine.
Squall is just another weatherman. Zidane, yeah, Zidane.
Yeah, right.
I like Zidane.
Zidane's fine. Titus is good. Tidus is bad. Tidus is correct. Again, just because I hate the correct one doesn't mean I'm right by saying it's Titus.
We will be using Titus.
Yeah. 11 obviously is 11. 12 has Vaughn.
I like Vaughn.
I like Vaughn too, but like 13 is Lightning. It's just Lightning.
Lightning is a little bit much. But
Noctis.
But like Lightning, Snow. Yeah,
but this is like high. But this is like high. You know, like high European fantasy. So like Clive Rossfield is a good like. That's a good.
But Clive is such
that's a
like
good European name.
Clive is such like a. Clive is the guy from like The Office who like is fine. He has like 2 kids, but like nothing else about him.
Maybe this is where it all turns around. Maybe this is where Clive becomes a cool name.
Maybe, yeah, you could be right. I'm sure the Zidanes of the world were grateful for 9.
All 3 of them.
Yeah. Hey, it's a popular name in I don't know, a place somewhere maybe.
Yeah. Lightning's real name is Claire, but no one calls her Claire, and everyone knows her as Lightning. So to me, you could tell me that Cloud's name was Steve, but it doesn't change the fact that everyone calls him Cloud. Or I mean, like what you have with Leon and Squall, frankly. Like just
Oh, Get looks cool.
You want to go hard into the Scottish for the king?
Oh, for me. Hold on. Hydaelyn. Okay. Welcome.
You are?
I'm King Giot, ruler of the Underworld. Oh, state your business.
We've come in search of the Dark Crystals.
I see. Same as the others, but from what I've witnessed, I gather you're not on this side.
Please, tell me you still have the Dark Crystals.
Unfortunately, they stripped us of 2. Now only 2 remain in our possession.
We were a fraction too late.
The castle's crystal's still safe. Our tanks fought them off. Ah.
So that's also why the tanks are such a big thing in 1.
Man, that's cool.
In the first.
So those were your tanks we saw battling the airships on our way here. Airships, you call them. You overworlders create many incredible wonders. Got a bit Australian there.
I love that you switched. Yeah, keep it Scottish. I love that's like slipping. The ways in which you slip are beautiful.
You should listen to me DMing D&D. It goes crazy. I did a whole Italian-inspired campaign once. Didn't go so well on the
Jesus
accent.
All you.
Our tanks are taking quite a beating. I've got English. Can you help us with your airship? Wait, I went Liverpudlian, right? Ugh, we'd love to, but she got busted up real good in the crossfire before. I need to repair her first. Ugh, Christ. I'm not doing well on accents tonight, guys. We'll do anything in our power to help you repair your airship. She won't last in the heat of this magma anyway. I'll fix her as best as I can for now. Fuck me. I need to take a break.
I will say...
Someone tell me about
it's I don't want to say it's like a little validating, but with the amount of like things I have to come up with on the fly while doing the MSQ, I have to say it's a little validating.
I get praised for my voices at like work when I'm reading stories, but I don't do accents. Like I can do different voices, but I can't do accents. But I need to fly her back.
Have a good one, Sam.
Oh yeah, see you, Sam. But I need to fly her back up to the surface and gather some mithril to armor her better. Oh my god.
Sid!
Just button up and relax. I'll be back before you know it. It's not the worst. Be careful, Sid. No worries, I'm a tough old man. I should only do white women. It's my rule from now on. I'm only doing white women.
Okay, duly noted. King Giat, where's the crystal? If you want, I can do Giat.
No, I think I have to roll with it.
Go for it. Power through.
I didn't. In the safest place in the castle, hidden behind my throne.
Yang, what's wrong? Someone's spying on us.
What? Oh. Yeah, here she is.
Perhaps it was your imagination. Nah, I wish it were so, but I definitely sense a presence, brother.
Open the door.
Yes, sire. Lolly ho! It's locked. Yip, yip, ho, ho! What?
Dolls?
They did straight up use this for 14.
Oh yeah, anti-tower, yeah. It's a good boss fight, actually.
Yeah, it is pretty good. I like anything that makes you move.
Yeah, me too.
Guess who? Yep, Calcobrinus. We're cute and we're scary. We love to kill. Let's take their heads. Yeah, a gift for Golbez. Yippee-ho!
Creepy.
And half of the player base went, nope.
Yeah, they are creepy.
Kick him! Kick him, Yang!
They are the dolls from the Anti-Tower Yukio. Calcabrina is Calca and Brina. But it's Calca, isn't it? It's not Calco in 14. Is it? Is Calco what? Isn't that?
I do not know. Literally all I can tell you is that this is a reference to 4, and I knew that. Beyond that, I could not tell you.
Oh, so this is a weird translation. Apparently, the canon is Calca, so it is Calcabrina, but this game is just translated. This version of the game is just translated it weirdly.
You think they would have fixed that for the Pixel remaster?
Yeah. Oh, Yukio, they're Shalian creations. Calca and Brina are. They like to do like stuff like that. You see all the mammoths and stuff.
Okay, we're about to get some Akira up in here.
It looks creepy. It's a good design.
See, now, how much of that is just looking creepy because it's a doll, and how much of that is because it's a giant naked doll?
I think the nakedness is what makes... And also the eyes are kind of creepy.
Yeah. The half-closed, judging, sleepy.
They did a good job with the face. Like, it's good art. It's good pixel art. Yeah, Calcabrina is from the Commedia, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a Malabranch.
I totally forgot that. Oh, okay. I completely forgot about that.
Raven's struggling with it. Yeah, I
see the beauty of my thought is that if you're ever dealing with something that's horrific in a game and the game is giving you the power to destroy it, it can only be so scary because you have the power to fight back. That's why like survival horror for me isn't usually that scary. It's like if I have
the last game that made me nope was you know the baby that you have to run away from in RE7? No, RE8.
You RE8? Yeah.
Because you can't fight it. You have to just. It was so creepy. That one got me. That was good.
What? Anything that also can do its damnedest to make you not want to look at it and not actively seek not to look at it goes a long way. There's only so much you can get away with that.
You know what did really get me?
What?
In Dragon Age Origins, the spiders that jump like they pin you down and like rip at you, and you can't move for like a few seconds. Like, and the sound effects are really visceral. That really messed me up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remind me of Malice Atlas, Madness Returns. Yeah, definitely. Kill it with fire. Well, we did kill it with jump. Rad, good to see, glad to have you. Of course, the speedrun free enterprise runs have you stop the ads and kill them in one turn so they can't combine. You skip the boss fight. Nice. Danielle, good to see, glad to have you. Wonderful day for 4. Always, and very relevant day. You can kill porcelain with fire, smash it like a vase instead. One way to use horror factor in a game is to give you a weapon. Yeah, if you get... I mean, I think you could even generalize it instead of just a weapon. You can just say agency. The more, like, agency you give a player to be able to direct their fate and direct the danger away from them, the easier it is to make it not scary. I mean, like, running away is still agency, so that there's, like, limits to that. Mm-hmm. But the more you create a system that allows you to fight back, the more people have a sense of control. When they have a sense of control, you know... Just listen here. Ow, you big bullies! But now Golbez knows about this place. He's gonna get ya. Sir Golbez! What? Our paths cross again.
It looks cool.
Mm-hmm. Golbez! I commend you for finding your way to the underworld. To reward your efforts, I shall tell you why I'm collecting the crystals. Okay, please just monologue at us.
Yeah.
I require all 8 in order to reactivate the Tower of Babel, which leads to the moon. Legend says a power beyond our comprehension can be found there. I need only 1 more crystal to turn my dream into a reality. You have been of great aid to my quest. Now prepare for your final reward. Rune, good to see you, glad to have you. Tokodeo, this isn't, oh god, not, what's it? The freaking tower defense game. Arknights.
Oh, yeah, man.
Dude, Arknights is fun and has phenomenal music.
I did play quite a bit of Arknights. I like the character design.
Your power pales in comparison to mine. I expected more. Oh, that's why he uses Icebind. Open your eyes and gaze upon true terror. Shadow, come forth!
Oh yeah, this is where that happens. Yeah. There you go. Ow. Ow! Oh, this is scripted, okay.
Yeah. Farewell, Cecil. Misbreath.
Oh,
yay! Rydia to the rescue. White Dragon versus Black.
Race.
My Shadow Dragon. Destroyed by mist. You're Rydia.
Oh.
That voice.
I thought Kane was gone. He's just up in the sky. Eesh. Oh man, 14, so good. Oh, Daniel, so the broodmother didn't like scare me, but the speech that Hespith does when you're approaching her, like the one day they come and take everyone, that one like made me that part creeped me out.
Also, all of Golbez's attacks in this so far have showed up in his trial.
Yes,
which is nice. Oh, I accidentally. Well, that's fine as long as if someone's healing.
Would have been funny if Rydia got one shot by that bio. Yeah, that would have been pretty
yeah. I'm just like, okay, well. I do not cure a god. That's.
Oh, such a tune. So good.
This cannot be. Oh, let me do the breakdown. No, don't go away, music. Don't go away. In the darkness, be by fear consumed. Kane over here just taking a nap. Just say Kane a minute, Yang. We did it. We defeated Golbez.
Rydia.
You look so different. What happened to you?
Leviathan took me to the land of summons.
What's that?
It's the world of the monsters I can summon. We became friends during my stay. I learned a lot there. I can't use white magic anymore. Interesting. But I've grown as a summoner.
I guess that makes sense from a mechanical standpoint, not to necessarily have to give her white magic. You already have Cecil and Rosa with it, right? Like, gives her more of a specific niche.
Time flows differently there, so I may have aged quite a bit. I'll say you're all grown up.
Cecil, who is she? It's the girl we found in the mists. She survived? Fortune favors us indeed, brother. Rydia, we owe you our lives. Thank you.
You don't have to thank me. Queen of the Land of Summons said to me that a great force is secretly at work, and we must confront it together.
And so we shall. Summoner Rydia has joined the party. Okay, but what about Golbez? He's still on the floor.
Hit him. No, walk over to him and hit him.
I cannot perish.
What? Hand?
What? What?
That's strange. What? Stop it.
Fucking grab it, man.
That was a very strange thing.
The crystal. Something, a man's limb?
Yeah.
Forgive me. Golbez has taken the crystal.
One crystal left. We must protect it at all costs. Yes, where can we find it? In the sealed cavern to the southwest, where Golbez is no doubt heading. Do not worry, he cannot enter without the key. I have a request.
We'll do anything. It was our fault the crystal was stolen.
I want you to retrieve the 7 crystals from the Tower of Babel.
That won't be easy. I presume it'll be fortified?
Do not worry, I have a plan. You'll sneak in and seize the crystals while our tanks distract them. The plan must be executed immediately, before Golbez returns from the seal cavern. Oh my god, American.
What do you think?
A large force might be waiting. It's a risk.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. As His Majesty says, now might be our only chance. All right. We'll go to the tower and reclaim the crystals. Tanks is in the role. I played a lot of... Oh, talking about Arc Knights, Kokodayo, 5 party members. Impossible. Yeah, with Abyssal Dark and no blade, he brings his people to devastation. Would have very funny if Rydia got one shot by the bio. That's what made the Broodmother scary. What would scare people? Poor Yang, sleeping. Don't have to answer if you don't want, but is Golbez theme worthy a breakdown video? I mean, his musical theme?
Yeah.
Because his musical theme doesn't really have lyrics. So, I mean, like, I don't know what you would break down. Right? I mean, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, Koko Dayo. I mean, well, it's not even just I'm here. It's more like I'm here, because like Dayo like could be exclamation at the end, but it's also like more like it's like an exclamation. So it's more like I'm here exclamation point, which is like it just makes me laugh, especially because it's when you summon her. Will I do a P12? I will do a lyrical lore for every song in the game that has meaningful amount of lyrics at some point. My problem is just getting to the point where I am, like, don't stress the hell out when I'm making content rather than just enjoy the process. You're fighting Golbez too. Take the treasure upstairs. I hope it helps. Sorry, Niner, did you have something you were going to say?
I was going to say, well, what Japanese pronouns would you use if you were speaking in Japanese for you? Would you use like
for me
ore or what's it?
I tend to use boku.
Yeah,
I tend to just like I mean like ore would be fine, but like I tend to just use like boku no namae wa eryo desu. Sometimes I'll just use watashi too. It's one of those things I just don't think about that much. I got used to using boku because of like when I started learning. I think I was like 11, so it was the more like appropriate.
Yeah, or is the least formal, right? And then boku is mid-formal?
I don't know that it's that. My experience with this boku is just more like, it's like masculine, but you would use it if you were, for instance, younger or, you know, but like men can use it too. Ore is more like, again, this is a Westerner talking from a perspective of like how I've experienced it being used, but like ore is more just like more masculine.
Okay.
It may be more informal as well, but like it tends to be like with ore, I like older men are more likely to use it.
Okay.
If we're doing a lyrical lore, we need to at least wait for the official lore release. That for sure, Infinite. I do not like making lyrical lore without there being the lyrics being released, because people are like, oh yeah, we'll just use the unofficial ones. People have listened to it, and I'm like, every single time, there has never been a time, ever once, where they have released the official lyrics and it did not mismatch to some degree with the version that people agreed on.
Did the Sophia ones
on
match?
Reddit?
I think they got.
Okay. Every single time, starting in Stormblood on. I have no idea for Heaven's Word. I mean, just even the amount of times where people are like, oh yeah, Ultima definitely has lyrics. Like, see, we can hear them here. Or the End Caller, I think, totally has lyrics. It's this, and then they're like, yeah, no, we just made up nonsense words. There's no meaning. Like, so like people will force meaning even when there's.
It's just pattern recognition, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's finding faces and things even when there's no face. I enjoy, but before doing the lyrical, we ever seen Brooklyn characters speak fluent Japanese, but he uses a more feminine way of speaking. When you say feminine way of speaking, does he like use watakushi or something? Like, from what I remember, ore is very masculine and very informal. Yeah, it's informality I couldn't speak to necessarily in common conversation, because like I don't hear it very often from men, which would make me assume that it is that makes sense.
Obviously, the best pronoun to use is Jubon. Just go full cutesy man.
Of course, you know that. Okay, buying dwarven. Oh, dwarven armor is thick, too thick for humans to move in.
Feminine
then
pronouns.
Why do you sell it?
Okay, so Atashi then, right? If it's feminine pronouns, must be.
Yeah. Atashi, watakushi. I don't know that watakushi is technically for sure feminine, but I guess like I don't think I've ever heard it used by someone who wasn't.
Jubon.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't.
Jubon was could guess.
Is that from?
It's
Oh, okay. Jibu wo sekai na. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, that took me a second, and then I got there.
Honestly, I find Code Geass to be overrated.
I think Code Geass is a mess of a second season, a first season that oscillates a little too hard in terms of you know what it is? It oscillates in the same way that Neon Genesis does, where it's like, okay, there is a route from going from what feels like sort of not standard, but sort of like teen mecha drama, political intrigue, or like aspect thing, and then into the harder turn of when things get really, really dark. Yeah. But there's like too many middle steps that are missing between those 2 points.
Fair. I like I do like Code Geass, but I do think it's overrated. Like those two things can coexist. But it's it's pretty wild in terms of how it escalates, which is fine. I do think Lelouch is a little bit overhyped as a character. Like, he's cool, but like he's very Eren Yeager-claw.
Yeah, I do think it's hard turn in the first season. Yeah, with the point with Euphemia is its strongest thing, and I think every time it roots itself more around elements like that, I think it's stronger for it.
I do think Code Geass is one of the franchises where the anime is better than the manga.
I don't think I've ever read the manga, but I assume it just looks very oh my god,
it's fine, but it's not the best paced, I find.
Dude, I share the soup store video still to this day on a far too common basis.
The soups, every time I'm in the soup aisle at the supermarket, I think, the soup store. I'm in the soup store. Why are you imagine me?
Why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Fuck you. You gotta wonder, like, can you imagine making a stupid joke like that? Probably 20 years ago at this. No, approach. It might be not like 15 years ago at this point. Yeah. And it lingering in the psyche of so many people for so long. Why are you at soup?
I feel like the abridged series are so like iconic, like the old abridged, like Dragon Ball Z abridged. Is like
I still think about Gaara of the Funk on the reg. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Also, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is like arguably more popular than Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. I mean, Lil Kribo definitely nailed it on that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's really good. Oh man, I've been so teacher problems. I while I'm like taking some of them to the toilet, the other ones can like watch Paw Patrol and shit, or like Bluey or whatever. But Paw Patrol is so weird because every time I search it, the top recommended result is like some weird like YouTuber making horror Paw Patrol content, like an hour-long episode of like horror, like Marshall's dying, please don't leave me. And I'm not like, what if I put that on accidentally for my kids and traumatize them?
Kids' YouTube is an existential nightmare that is a unmitigated mess and disaster.
It's horrible. Also, I don't like Paw Patrol. One time, we get stickers from China, which isn't technically great because they're all like scalped from independent artists, which isn't ideal, but it's what you have to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to afford stickers for my kids. It's like, it is what it is. But one time, quite often they like accidentally put rude ones in. Like, we got a Marvel one once. One of them was Thanos like sticking his middle finger up. And we've got Sonic ones before, and it's like Rouge the Bat, like just like tits out almost. But we got it.
Well, I was about to say, at least with Thanos, it was his middle finger, not something else.
With Paw Patrol, we got one once, and I managed to catch it just at the last minute as one kid was trying to take it. It's because the parent would have been fucking nuts. It's it was the one of Chase, who's like the cop dog, and it says it's got like a red circle and like a line through it, like a like a stop sign, and it said on the stop a cab, and I was like, oh, parents are gonna be mad if they take that home. I kept it for myself.
That would have been. I don't want to say it would have been hilarious. I mean, it would have been, but that is pretty funny.
I don't watch Bluey actively Yu-Gi-Oh, but I do like. I like it. It's one of my favorite shows to like show the kids, and I like to like watch it while they're watching it.
Yeah, and also Yukio, on your question for the 6.5 7.0 thing, so historically the pattern, if you look at the games, is from Heavensward to Shadowbringers is the 0.1 through 0.3 is an epilogue for the expansion, and 0.4 and 0.5 and 0.55 is a setup for the next expansion, loosely. Obviously, there's some wiggle room. For instance, 3.4 is both setup for the next expansion and setup for the expansion after the expansion that was coming. But this cycle is a different cadence. All of the patch content is one more contiguous story. However, it's not clear as of yet whether or not this will fully wrap up itself by the end of the patch content, or if this entire story is part of the lead into 7.0. So we can't be certain. However, there are a lot of reasons to assume that there are hints towards what 7.0 could be, both in it and elsewhere.
I would say that there's probably going to be like a mixture of the two. Like there will be elements leading ahead and elements that are sort of concluded.
Yeah, 100%. Although, yeah, with the certain threats that are being established currently, it's hard to know. Oh, okay, there's a dwarf that opens a new path for us. That's why I couldn't figure out where to go.
Yeah, random sticker packs. I said, oh man, the rise of iPad kids has been a bane in my existence since I started teaching. Like,
do tell.
They're all obsessed with Among Us. And every time there's like
but
Among Us is everywhere.
Question.
It's like, I called Among Us at 3 a.m. Don't do this. Like that sort of shit content.
Okay. But bear with me here. How different is that really from like us and Pokemon? Or, you know?
Yeah, but it's less like cringe, like fan content on YouTube.
Okay.
Also, I'm talking like 5-year-olds.
I mean, I was playing Pokemon at 4.
Oh, they're still playing, but they're still obsessed with Pokemon.
Where is the dwarf? Here. There's an exit. Oh, there's an exit in the castle basement. You may leave when you're ready. Okay, cool. We just need to get our way to the basement. Hi-you-ho to the basement. How the fuck do you get to the basement? Naneri, do you often struggle to find men's basements?
Never. That's not true. In a dark room. Depends on what I'm trying to put there.
Is the Crowl driving you nuts? No, the Crowl notes... no, because the Crowl note is either directly tied to the comments made by Thancred and Urianger, or it is something completely... It's either tied to Aaronville's thing, or Thancred and Urianger's thing, or it's all tied together, or it's Mericidia, or... Like, the note is not... The note to me is very, very apparent what it likely is. Not very apparent what it likely is, but, like... There's a very limited number of things it could be, or so it's going to be so wildly left field that it wouldn't matter because no one's going to predict it anyways.
We tried to make theories before, and we will continue. Oh, dev office.
Wait, what? 1991 dev office abandoned?
Did they move offices around this point? They must have. It would make sense, actually, around 4 for them to be upscaling into a new office. Oh, sexy.
Look, this is what we all want in life.
This is
men dancing for us.
Goddamn right.
The imagery on that note means that it could be any number of things, but seeing as it's the Baldesion team being given that note, I would suspect that it's probably to do with Mericidia.
Get your dick
out.
World.
It's... I mean, the thing is that, so there was a small hint, but I wonder if it's going to help both the 1st and 13th at the same time, trying to set their 8th there against each other. Yeah, well, so Rune, there's a lot of metaphysics. We can't go into that too much, but I've had lots of thoughts, and we definitely I've talked to a couple people about that, but blah. I'll dance myself dizzy. I'm really sick.
Hold on. I need to run to the toilet, but keep going.
Yeah, you go do that. I'll vamp for a bit. I wish we had some no clue, but the thing is, we do have clues. So, like, just as an example, what has this entire patch cycle been about? Dragons, the legacy of Empire, or like the fallout of Empire, and the destruction of home, and Voidsent. You know, it's like that's all what Mericidia is about, basically. So it's like there are hints for reasons to assume that 7.0 is gonna be about Mericidia, but. And then also, it just depends on wildly if, like, the current situation is the root cause of the issue. But I'd be pretty surprised if 7.0 wasn't Mericidia. There's just too many reasons to assume that it would be. Now they like messing with us, so it's possible they'll just zig and zag. But I think all the evidence points towards that. I think the one counter evidence is something we can't really talk about, but it has to do with the nature of the walls between reflections. I think there's a reference to this in Watt's Anvil. 2 dwarves that dance during a day and sleep on the ground during night. Oh, that's so cute. Please let us explore the Blade World. Not gonna lie, I want to explore, not saving the world from destruction. I think the thing is that you can say that it's like just wanting to explore, it's all well and good, but there has to be some kind of contention around like what's driving exploration or change rather than like causing people to move and act. And what that means can be variable, right? I also think like that's like, I think they can tell a story about exploration while also being a story about helping and salvation. I think the thing is that they've rooted it a lot in more character, but you have to have threat on some kind of scale, right? Like it doesn't have to be universal. It doesn't even necessarily have to be the entire star, but it has to be something that does loom over and threaten peoples to drive us to like interact and engage with people.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Okay, I cannot find this, so I'm just gonna look up a map because I literally cannot find the exit out of here to save my life.
Oh yeah, Yukio. Me and Elio are also on the just give us an expansion where we explore the world and do like political stuff. We're on that train.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Is that I think you can do a lot of the exploration stuff too. That's pure exploration through things like Mount Ronkon, right? Like things like Criterion Dungeon. But look, I would love an expansion that was just exploration. I don't know how good it would be for the health of the game to like minimize conflicts to an extreme point like that.
I think it's possible, doable, but not necessarily the easiest. Oh, AC, we can go. We could just go to Mericidia tomorrow if our characters wanted to. Like, it's definitely not that impossible to get to at all. You could just charge that shit.
There's just not reason to go, and then also there's a lot of hostility, so it's like, why actively try? There are other things that are more important right now.
We're busy.
Okay, Okay, here's the weapons. Okay, so here's weapons. We're trying to get to the secret exit. The secret exit is where?
Oh, it's
why is... Oh, you know what sucks too? I just moved from the city where they do that.
Oh, lame.
I never got to go. Yeah. Where is the secret exit? Who thought that the thing that was going to like end up sticking us the most to the overworld? Okay, so we need to get 15. So 15. So we need to get to 2, then 5. Okay, we're here now, so we need to go 5. 5, then to 14.
Oh yeah, I'm interested in Corvus as well, Yuki. And we're definitely we're not gonna find things about Graha individually. I don't think, not on a great scale, but we'll definitely hear things that relate to him through his, kin.
Oh, that seems like random that dwarf there. Like the notion of what was the basement. That was that's the first one of the first ones. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's not a major thing, but it wasn't the best.
I think there's a good chance that Corvus is one of the maps for 7.0. I think like I wouldn't, if my theories are right, which so far not a stellar track record, but you make Corvus and maybe one other Ilsabardian map, or at the very least just Corvus, one of the maps.
You could always do 2 Corvus maps.
Right. I would be surprised with Thavner in itself. It's one. Garlemald's only one. I think like they probably. Yeah. But yeah, the thing about Corvus is that there's a lot of ties to it, both in Alag, tying it to Graha and other characters. It could be that Erenville and his his home of Erenville. Yes, Erenville's home is Erenville. Could be somewhere near that, since Corvus is relatively close to the Skade Mountain Range, and I mean that's not close to the Golmore Jungle, but it's from an Ilsabardian standpoint, it's closest to Othard. So I would look to that. And there's a lot of the Algan stuff left over. I think there's definitely reasons that we would go there. Lally ho! But again, I made a video with predictions for Endwalker, and I think maybe 1 or 2 is right. So we'll see. I still was convinced like Niniri can confirm this. I remember messaging Niniri. I'm like, the Loporrits, the Alag made the Loporrits. I just know it. They made the bunnies. They shot them into space. They shot the bunnies into space.
They were made, so you weren't entirely wrong.
No. I stand by. That was a good hypothesis. It just wasn't right.
The ruins that there are so elegant looking. Well, not even ruins, but the facilities that there are so elegant looking, especially on the concept art we got. Like, it was like, this is an elegant thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the main shots we had was the Heimdall space probe,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Lady Hrothgar's.
That's 7.0.
Yeah. Yeah. I still think
Lady Hrothgar's
a chance that they don't end up making it.
Oh, I think they do it. I think they definitely do it. Lady Hrothgar's and Mericidia or Corvos. Lady Hrothgar's and Corvos would make a lot of sense, seeing as Corvos is neighbors to like Bosnia and Zadnor. So that would be very likely, in my opinion. Mericidia, less likely. The races that we know that are that so far that would make sense would be Hur, Elizin, and Rogadin. However, I guess any number of other races could show up there.
You never know. Probably not Lalafell, but you never know with this game.
Yeah.
You don't want the Lady Hrothgar to fall into female Worgen. I think they will, to a degree. But they're...
What does that mean?
So, like, yeah, like
of...
super feminized, much skinnier, much more humanoid.
Oh, I just look at the Ronso from FF10, the female Ronso.
But they released concept art of the of what's it, Queen
Gunhilda.
Yeah, Gunhilda, and she looks kind of like a human.
Yeah.
With like some.
Well, that's because she's a row. Yeah. Well, oh, you mean the Hrothgar version?
Yeah, the Hrothgar.
Yeah.
Like I was that fan art? It could have been actually. Oh my god.
What?
I was searching for it and I just found someone did a Gunhilda outfit on a Hrothgar, but they have like a mod where their dick bulge is really big and it's showing under the.
You know, you said, "Oh my god," and I'm like, "Okay, it's gonna be something disgusting and internet-y," and then you started continuing on. I'm like, "Oh no, maybe it's gonna be awesome or something like," and then you're like, "And then dick bulge."
Oh, so they didn't really release concept art, but in like the mosaics, the female Hrothgar just looked like blue people with cat ears.
Yeah, I would be surprised if female Ronso or female Hrothgar weren't taller than male Hrothgar, and a little more lankier.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna they're gonna have like a very humanoid skeleton, but I mean, the female Worgen had also the drawback of being ugly, and I don't think the female Hrothgar are going to be. Oh, jeez.
Shade. Radia, good to see, glad to have you. They're female Ronso and 10, yeah. Although Elio believing the Alligans are responsible for something is usually proven true, not false. Yeah, fair point, Infinite. It usually is Alag's fault. I still want to do, if they'll like, accept me, I need to next LunarCon prepare another, like, I started working on a, thing, on a, panel for, like, for the LunarCon last year or 2 years ago or whatever, and I just didn't get submitted in time. But, something like, Alligans, Asians, and something about how everything that you can trace the problem of everything back to something that starts with an A.
I'll make a family tree at some point with that one.
Yeah.
Oh yes, somebody did do fan art of Xenos as they fan out of Varys, Xenos, and Emmet. They got hunting way for Xenos, dictating way for Varys, and sulking way for Emmet.
Oh, someone created a. I just saw it yesterday. It is animation with the Warrior of Light and Xenos, Loporrit Xenos, and it was hilarious.
I want to see that.
Well, tomestones were okay. Tomestones, the tombstone phone. I'm so sad. I gotta make a video about this.
Yes.
Okay. The tombstone phone emote is not actually what tombstones are. That was an emote specifically made for it. Tombstones are just thumb drives.
They're like,
they're USB thumb drives with data. They're literally tome, like a book, stones, like they contain data in them.
But yes, so this depends very much on the era. Pre like Sunday's resurrection, yes, they were just sitting around eating and doing shit like all day. But post then he militarized it and put people back into industry and warfare and stuff.
Yeah, and people had a focus and a drive.
Yeah. It's very like 50s sci-fi where like, oh, we don't need to do anything anymore, so we're just like melting into our beds.
Daniel just messing with me the perfect way. Y'all know how to mess with me exactly. Just like mention something with necromancy, mention something with tombstone phones. It's not hard to get me going. It's Benji when you probably can show it right on stream. Yeah, probably not though, Infinite. Like, cause one, there's all sorts of problems with like just restreaming that like that, which may be completely fine to the person, but yeah, I maybe. We still have no Kid Rogan model. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Do the Loporits never ask about Vieira with the bunny ears? I mean, I guess I don't know. Rogan and have Hurian ears, you know?
Yeah, right?
Push Elio's button. The like button, specifically. I think pushing Elio's like button might be a crime.
Not if you get consent.
Emergency exit. I will take that.
Oh yeah, they look like they could be used as phones. I see. There's no denying that. I always thought as I thought of the nodes as almost more like phone or like personal computer like than a tombstone.
Right. And AC, the reason that they look like phones in the music Universalis markets, I know the exact place you're talking about in the cutscene that you're talking about, is because the only model they had of the phone or of the tombstones at that point was the emote phone. So they didn't have a tombstone model. They do now, but they didn't during Shadowbringers. And so they just reused that rather than make one.
How's the boy, Yukio says?
How's the boy? He's doing good. He's still not down here. He won't be down here for another week or two. But I've been getting lots of photos of him, which I can pull up a couple of them.
Hold on, Ray.
He's been very.
When you say fun spot, do you mean the dog's fun spot, or do you mean Elio's like G spot or something? Or what are we talking here?
He's also taken to cuddling with a stuffed animal since I've been gone.
Oh.
Because usually he'd cuddle me.
Oh. Whenever I come home, my male dog, Percy, picks up a toy. Because he like tries to stop stuff from barking, so he picks up a toy and like comes and rubs it on your leg. Man, I love dogs.
Yeah, I love dogs too. Oh, who wants to see a baby Deadpool?
Obviously.
All right. First, I want to show him fell asleep with that. But there you go.
Baby.
A very good boy. I miss him very much. Baby, yes, he's such yeah. I bet he'll be excited to see you. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be excited. And also he has a lot of room out here to wander around.
So cute.
Oh, Ray. Yes, I did post. Okay, so I went to an arcade yesterday because I actually took a day off for once. And I did post a video of it, and the arcade's name was Fun Spot. And I was like, I don't know how much more euphemistic you get than that.
Oh, yeah.
Magic. And we are healed.
Hell yeah.
Is there?
I'm like as I'm playing through as we're playing through this, I'm seeing like more and more references that I didn't realize were like I knew the dwarves were like a sort of oblique reference, but I didn't realize like yacht and stuff like that. I didn't realize how deep it was.
Yeah.
And tanks. Although I'm disturbed not to see frog motifs. So.
Well, you know, maybe there's something. Wait. We talked about this before. AC, you pointed this out, right? There is some kind of frog motif thing somewhere in 4, because someone pointed out that we had it with the dwarves, right? We were talking about frog motifs somewhere earlier.
We did see a frog. Oh man, what was it?
Troy had lots of frogs. Oh, right. You know what's interesting? Because the towers have a specific, like, technological aspect to them, but we got the, like, more, like, techno-organic, Geiger-esque thing going on in 14. We haven't really had this kind of technological aesthetic, really, so far. I mean, the closest we get is, I guess, the Magitech of sort of, like, Garlemald's industrial look.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Ishgard, some of Ishgard's stuff?
No, Ishgard's like, you know, that's stone and fantasy. That's not technological.
Yeah, but they do have like like Skysteel and stuff. Like they do have elements that are more pure tech.
I'm thinking architecturally.
Oh, okay.
Like, not because like architecturally, the closest thing that this matches would be something like Late Allegan or.
So much Late Allegan is so gothic-y and neon that it doesn't even really fit with this so well.
Right. Like, this is, like, 90s industrial, but with, like, aspects of, like, Contra aesthetic.
Yeah, I see the Contra, actually. That's a good point.
Mystery Egg?
Okay. Oh. Underwhelming.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something scary.
Yeah, like a dragon or a behemoth or something.
I'm getting Eureka Orthos vibes. Yeah, I mean, Eureka Orthos is interesting because Eureka Orthos is that point where you go from early Allegan to late Allegan. So there's definitely something there, but this is like weird because this is much more steel and industrial. So it's like more futurism than late Allegan, or than early Allegan. But it's less like sci-fi neon than early Allag. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely... It's not a one-to-one for like this. There's no such thing as like a clean sci-fi almost in 14.
14. Honestly, in Final Fantasy in general, I mean, even with like every time you get FF1, it's like combining knights and armor and airships that are wooden boats, but also there's technology and futurism, and, you know.
Yeah.
Steampunk.
I feel like,
but it's not really Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like 13 has elements where it feels like obviously it's not, there's magic and stuff in there as well, and like solarpunk and stuff, but there are times when it feels a bit like that. It's a bit more jagged, but still.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing about 13 is it's in line with something like 7 and 15, where they're using modernism, right? Like, they're using, like, modern as the setting plus futurism, rather than, like, high fantasy, like, 17th century mixed with technology, you know? And so I think it's, like, that's different. Contra Memoria? Yeah, I see. There you go. It's not really steampunk because it's not steam operate. Like, steampunk is one, you kind of have to fundamentally be rooted in steam as you're operating.
Well, yeah,
energy.
But there is an aesthetic that could be a fit, like a lot of clockwork and stuff. Like 12 is almost elements of steampunk, but like taken out of context.
See, I guess to me, like, steampunk to me is more than that. It's not just just one aspect of clockwork or Victorian alone is not a steampunk doth not make, but maybe that's
but with certain like metals and certain vibes applied, I think it doesn't make steampunk, but you can see the illusions, or at least unintentional illusions.
Yeah.
With
have a good night, Yukio.
Oh yeah, good night, Yukio. With stuff like what is it, Ridorana. There's certain elements that are almost steampunky in that, but again, not they fall short a little bit and almost go like industrial / ancient, you know, that like ancient futurism type stuff.
Yeah, I definitely feel true. I think the thing with Ridorana gets interesting. I think Ridorana is the strongest example to your point, right? Because I think on the one hand, I would look to something like Balthier's airship and the style of those airship and how they're aether driven, and the design sensibility is almost something closer to like Turkish, and also reminds me of like FF7 or FF10 Zanarkand.
Yeah.
So it's like it's so weirdly specific, or not specific. It's so specifically not European in a sense. that it's like it also being steampunk. It's like, where's the line for steampunk there? Too?
Right.
Because a big part of steampunk in my mind is the Victorian aspect of it. The same as like diesel punk is like turn of century, right?
Yes. Yeah. So and also a relevant point. So clockwork and stuff, like Rag brings up, as separate steampunk is often grouped in as a subtype of steampunk. Like, I forget what it's called, but it's like clockpunk or something like that. But like, it shows up in steampunk, and the actual punk dedicated to it is a subtype of steampunk. So, I mean, the whole punk genre thing is like so messy as it is anyway.
I mean, honestly, that's why to me the easiest thing for if you need to like have a general classification is rooting it in what is the operating power source, right? Because then you can like say green punk, diesel punk, steampunk. Like you can have like it is rooted around a alternative, or not necessarily alternative, but a specific operating power source as its like root in using it in a near universal way, right? FF6, Levi, good to see, glad to have you. FF6 has always felt steampunk to me without having much of a Victorian feel, much of the Victorian feel, or even necessarily a root in steampunk. But I think a lot of people would agree with that, Levi. So, like, as much as I may be coming down on, like, okay, hey, my operating procedure is to say what is the fundamental core energy system, I think that doesn't change that people will use the term to describe something that I think a lot of people connect to. And I think Magitech in general, from like 6 and to an extent in 14 at times, is I think it's because of that like sort of clockworky analog aspect to it that I think is part of what makes it appeal steampunk to people, and the fact that it's in Final Fantasy you have a combination of, like we were saying, like 17th century with things from like the like 19th or 20th century, which gives it this like, even if not literally Victorian feel, sometimes the era Victorian feel.
Rag, I agree.
Does that make sense?
That the whole punk thing is massively overblown. But it's a useful label sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. That's always the problem, right? Is if you try to hyper specifically define your terms, one, that shit drifts anyways, but two, a lot of times that rigidity becomes very more difficult to communicate. But also, if you have things too loose, then there's no discernible meaning.
Yes.
Because it's like whatever. Yeah. As much as I hate saying this because I like the labels and semantics, steampunk is kind of a vibe, you know? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think most of the punks are a vibe. Like, and the way that you interpret those vibes is right. Like, for example, I go hard on I'm like 7 is cyberpunk in parts, purely aesthetically, and Ellie was like, no, it's not cyberpunk. It's that's just sort of a very surface level illusion.
Yeah, I guess like it's to me because it's so much about modernism. I mean, like, you know, like the dystopia aspect, right? Of the ultra, like the megacorp with Shinra. I see more of the points about why in which it'd be cyberpunk. I guess to me that the dystopia alone is not what defines it. To me, cyberpunk has an aspect to it of futurism that is the way in which I don't want to say the internet is intrinsic to it, because I don't think that's necessarily true, but to an extent it feels kind of true to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think punk when applied to these things, Levi, has been actual punk for like decades now. Like, even in their original iterations, they wouldn't really. They were just sort of subversive, which is key to punk, but does not punk make.
Yeah.
A lot of them were like people who weren't punks applying that title, but there's no need.
Basics of cyberpunk usually is high technology and low life. I think that's, you know, like under that auspice, right? I think
that's part.
Yuri's point makes sense.
Like corporatism is a major part. Stuff like hacking. There are other things in there as well. Like I would say the defining element is corporate. Like corporations over governments, or corporations equal to governments.
Yeah, I would say that for me, the thing is that high technology, low life is a really good way of putting it. I think the two, not asterisks, but things like under high technology is involved a mass way of communication, and then under low life has to require some form of corporatism within it. Through 13 Cocoon is super advanced, then Pulse is more like Steam Clockpunk. But is it? Because, like, well, I mean, kind of.
That's
but
a lot
the
of
thing
gears.
is, it's also more like... Yeah, there's a lot of gear aesthetic, but it's really, like, not even, like, technological. It's more like a return to Eden, right, is the idea of Grand Pulse. And then Cocoon
a lot of the
is
ruins
your...
are very, like, are more like that. They're like the most of Pulse, definitely. But then when you go to the, like, the old, like, the tower... I forget what it's
been a while since I played 13.
Yeah, well, if we'll get through this. We'll get through this one fairly quickly. I think 5 we'll get through quickly as well.
Well, you're gonna have more time too, so maybe we'll have more time to do streams.
That's true.
Cocoon is maybe like a clean futurism or something. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is Cocoon is your
it's like
utopian dystopia.
Almost. Yeah, it's like
yeah. I mean, it really is like solar punk wouldn't be a bad way to put it because it is like this sort of it is futurism in terms of its aesthetic. It is the clean city, it is the beautiful city, it is the pristine and perfect city, except for at the heart of it is no one has control, right?
Yeah, basically.
Because
it's that sort of like, you know, the shiny exterior where, you know, actually most people do live pretty good lives, which is sort of a step up from Cyberpunk, but there is something sinister happening behind. But there's also this hopeful element to it. Daft Punk.
You know what I do like Daft Punk?
Like Daft Punk's big songs, I've listened to enough now that like I don't really like them anymore.
Are you saying that you don't like Daft Punk because they got too mainstream?
No, it's you know when you overlist like Happy. Yeah. Everyone hates that song now because it played too much.
Yeah. My favorite song by them, weirdly enough, is The Game Has Changed from the Tron soundtrack.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's the most iconic era. Is the Tron stuff.
Yeah,
Tron's really good.
Dude, I've always loved Tron Legacy. I really.
Did you play the Tron MMO?
No, I didn't.
Apparently, it was
that movie is
okay.
Beautiful.
I think there was a Tron MMO, right? Yeah.
There was a Tron game. I don't know if there was.
Maybe
Tron
I'm
MMO.
thinking of that. I know there was a Matrix MMO which sucked. Oh yeah, Tron. No, there isn't. Okay. What the fuck? Oh my god, this is. The internet is so confusing nowadays. Who knows? I don't think there is a Tron MMO, but there was a Matrix one.
Yes. There's definitely a Tron video game, I know for sure.
There is, yeah, which I think was sort of expansive on the lore, which might be where I'm getting that from.
Yeah, I think there was a semi-recent one too, actually.
I didn't hate the new Tron, like the new Tron movie. I thought that was okay. Tron Legacy, yeah.
New Tron? Oh, new Tron. Yeah, I love Tron Legacy. I mean, like, look, don't get me wrong. Sam's not the most interesting character in the world, but like in terms of like the aesthetic of that movie has never left me since I saw it as a child, and I still think about the like outfit design, the like light strips. Like, part of why I'm into cosplay as much as I am is partly because of that film.
Yes. Oh man, Chimera. Yeah, the Chimera trial is a lot, but I just remember running it for my Relic back in the day.
Yeah. Tron Evolution, yeah. Now I'm bringing it back. I love Evolution of Tron so much, but Legacy was a great movie too. See, I actually like I like both of them for, I don't want to say different reasons, because that's not really quite it. I think the characters in the original Tron are more compelling, just like because the one you have Jeff Bridges being a main lead instead of having to. I mean, like he carries the weight of his responsibility, cool. But Sam is just generic white man number 27 to me.
Yeah, but like no, that was so much really the oof in that time. Like almost every protagonist was just white man number, however many.
Yeah. Okay, so this is 4th floor. Let's pull open. I'm gonna pull open a map of Tower of Babel. F4. Just to save us some time.
It's a little annoying that we've gotten back to the labyrinthine dungeons again. Like I get people like that kind of stuff, but for me it just wastes time. Like, yes, give me branching paths and stuff, but I shouldn't be getting like turned around constantly.
Yeah, I'm torn because if I think I was playing this alone, like not streaming and taking a super amount of time, I think it'd be fine.
I just don't think it's intuitive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, right? It's not that it is intuitive, but I think that's kind of the point. The point was to explore. At least that's, I think, when something like this came out, you weren't exactly pressed for options for entertainment, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, there was a time when video games were marketed on the amount of hours they took to complete, not on their quality. I mean, to an extent, that still happens.
Yes.
But I think most consumers at this point are kind of tired of that.
Yes. I do, oh man, my brain. Civ, I've forgotten. I do that all the time.
Your brain's playing Civilization?
Oh, I tried to get into the new, it's not even new, but I tried to get into the most recent Civ game. I couldn't. I was like, this is fine, but it's nowhere near as good as the previous one.
Yeah, my problem with the Civ games always end up being that my struggle is that when there are practices that are kind of not mandatory, but like if there's ways to optimize like what your tech order is and stuff.
Yeah,
it's that issue. It's that issue of like any game, like Mario Kart is a very different game if you're playing it with people who don't know what the fuck they're doing versus people who do know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
and it's that kind of same thing for Civs. The Mobius aesthetic of original Tron is just so much cooler to me. You see, it's interesting you say that though, Levi, because like I'm a huge fan of Mobius. I have a lot of Mobius art around, and I think the only thing that makes Tron Legacy not Mobius, like I think it's just as inspired. But the thing is that I guess when I think Mobius, original Tron is still not what I think of. I can definitely see. I mean, it makes sense. Like, I bet there's got to be art of that, right? Mobius Tron. It's just not. Yeah. Okay. Looking at some of the high orators and stuff, I definitely makes sense why that. Yeah.
I remember what I was.
When I look at the character designs, I definitely now see the Mobius in it much more. But yeah, I guess I just like both for very different reasons. I think, like, to me, Tron Legacy is the peak example of futurist minimalist, while being still very aesthetically pretty. And after that, I don't know. I don't want to say it was all downhill, but I think it was.
It's so sad that Mobius is like. Yeah, I know it happened a long time ago, but like, it happened like 12 years ago. But still, so sad that he's dead.
I was just reading a couple of his things like a month or two ago.
Oh yeah, he's done some really good stuff. Like some of the stuff that he wrote independently was really good.
I don't want to say he was a man that wanted to deny the catharsis of a finale, but holy shit, will that guy did not make finales that finalized.
Yes. Oh man, his Dune adaptation was gonna be fucking crazy.
So Levi, it's funny you say that. I looked at Sark and I looked at Light Sailor, and that's literally exactly what I was like. Because I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking more about the transports. I was thinking more about the tanks and other scenes. So that's where I wasn't seeing the Mobius. But I now look at those and I definitely see it. And part of it, honestly, the reason is that seeing it in 3D with the polygonal edging, the way that the aesthetic of Tron is, actually, weirdly enough, did make me like not see his art as much, which is weird. Oh, really? This part of the DS and the earlier PC remake sucks. The monster had like tanks in here. Oh yeah, so I bet you had to like grind the heck out of it.
Oh, lame.
All this talk of Tron, I'm gonna need to rewatch the original tonight. Big recommend. I just think that Legacy is an incredibly beautiful film that uses light in stunning ways. And I say that as someone who typically prefers color, like loves lots of color in my films.
You must like
so the fact that
if you like the Mobius stuff and then you also like color, you must be a big Fifth Element fan.
Oh, I literally just rewatched Fifth Element like 3 days ago.
It's a really good film.
Am I a big Fifth Element fan though?
I am. I like Fifth Element.
I think I appreciate Fifth Element. And there's a lot of things about Fifth Element I like, but I actually wouldn't say it's one of the ones I'm more inspired by. I would look to something more like, I mean, this is obviously different, but like something like Blade Runner, and Blade Runner 2049.
It's not very Mobius though, right? Blade Runner right now.
No, but I guess for me, like there are artists who I adore their work in specific, but doesn't mean that things inspired by them I adore. I think a good example of that would be I love Ralph McQuarrie. From like Star Wars, like the Star Wars concept design artist. but a lot of people who are inspired by him, I mean, I won't say Doug Chang because I don't think he's as much, but like there are people inspired by him very much so that still don't necessarily connect. And so I think there's sometimes even just moving transmedium might be part of it. I don't, does anyone actually have any good examples of like a movie that's deeply inspired by Mobius art-wise? Obviously, Tron, Levi pointed out.
Fifth Element.
I love Fifth Element. Zorg is one of the best comedic evil just for the sake of being evil antagonists. Yeah, Fifth Element had a nice space opera. Here's the thing. I watched Fifth Element for the first time in many, many years, like literally like 2 or 3 days ago, like very recently. The pacing of that film is fascinating because it feels like it's supposed to be a 3-hour film because its second act starts well over halfway into the movie. Because like everything is effectively set up for most of it. I mean, like, I guess the first act in a sense is actually just the flashback in time to Egypt, but like all the setup for all the characters is so much a part of literally the entire first half of the film that it is just a wild ride in terms of pacing. I mean, you get to the opera ship, right? Which in some ways feels like when the second act is kind of supposed to begin, because it's when the adventure is really starting to commence. But then right after that, it's over, which is it's like the entire like it's very interesting. I wasn't like hating on it for it. It was just like it was.
I felt like that was like a subversive thing though, but
could be, yeah.
I did like
the world building. Is S tier.
What? Jet Set Radio was Mobius inspired.
Oh, I love Jet Set Radio. So that, and I definitely can see that. Love Jet Set Radio's aesthetic.
Yeah, really, really good. I love Jet Set Radio. We need a new Jet Set Radio game.
You know what? We do, but I don't think we could ever necessarily get, because like I think there's a certain amount of it that there's a time and a place to that. I think the closest thing you see what would be a current Jet Set Radio is I think you see The World Ends With You. I think you look at things like Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush
I think
is
the things that
very Jet Set Radio, yeah.
I think you think that take the spirit of it rather than the exact thing that it was. Because I think if you just made a new one, I don't know.
It's very it's sort of very much a product of the early 2000s / late 90s.
That's the thing, is if you made it now, like then it felt fresh. But if you just made that now,
you'd have to like
feel fresh.
You'd have to dig into the nostalgia. It would have to be like something like that, yeah. And yeah.
So, but see, I feel like. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't always feel like nostalgia is the best thing in producing content.
Right, and so like my thought on that. Okay, interesting. So I can go up, but also there's that. Well, we'll try the door. We'll see what happens. The thing is, like, so my thinking is that what you do is you need to make something like what The World End With You did, where it took like the music, the style, the Harajuku, like the vibe of its time,
yeah,
and made something. So I think you would have to make something ironically to be spiritually contiguous with Jet Set Radio. I think you'd have to make something that would feel very different from Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, no, I agree. The idea of a lo-fi rush would appeal to players. Lo-fi rush is Disco Elysium.
yeah. You're not wrong. You're really not. You know what? You're really not wrong. I think that it's not just about subversive, but I think things need to feel like they are of a moment while also feeling like they are really timeless. I don't know. Like, I don't know how I'm trying to explain like something like a Disco Elysium or what what makes something like a Hi-Fi Rush or a disco or a Jet Set Radio.
I don't think franchises do well with that.
No,
I think it has to be a standalone game, or piece of media or whatever.
I think the best thing you can do is you can hand it off, right? You can pull a Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, where you can, and I don't even know that that's a perfect example, but just like you have to hand off the thing and let the next thing be different.
Even I guess that's true. But even then, I don't feel like that captures that same energy that we're discussing.
No.
Like, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, but that's not the reason you should do it.
Yeah. An action game with chill beats.
An action game with chill beats.
I mean, action game with chill beats. What is an action? Oh, fuck.
SMT.
Let's get Rosa back up.
It's not an action game. Well, it doesn't really lend itself well, does it, to an action game?
No. I mean, I feel like honestly, I don't think that I really think you hit the nail on something that a lo-fi rush really was. Let's just go Elysium.
Yeah, like it's not an action game, but would a lo-fi rush be an action game, or would it lose that from the lo-fi-ness of it all?
How will we escape from these games? Did you try turning them off and on? Yeah. When you enjoy Fifth Element as a cheesy comedy, it's good. If you take it seriously, you miss out. Yeah, and I think even more than cheesy comedy, I think an excellent... Whether or not the world entices you in and of itself, the world's incredibly... I don't want to say well-constructed in and of itself, but deeply constructed in terms of, like, the level of, like, small details that are omnipresent throughout it are... idiosyncratic and at the very least interesting. I think that's the thing, is the amount to which something like a Fifth Element is idiosyncratic, or the amount to which you kind of need idiosyncrasies in order to make something like a Hi-Fi Rush or a Jet Set Radio or a Disco Elysium for sure, right? Zork has Eggman vibes.
I think
sorry, go ahead.
with its idiosyncrasies, Fifth Element is very self-aware, which helps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, on the topic of a game, like a game series that manages to capture that sort of weird feeling of like being in the moment of that particular moment, but manages to replicate it across. No More Heroes, I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a big Suda51 fan.
You know, I have not played as much of his games as I should. Like, I played No More Heroes, and I've played,
Did you play 2?
Fucking Uncle Skeleton. No, I played No More Heroes and the Uncle Skeleton one. I haven't played Killer 7. I haven't played the vast majority of his.
I bounced off Killer 7, I'm gonna be real honest. I didn't think it was bad, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Which, I mean, hey, that's Suda51 for you.
Yeah. But I loved No More Heroes too. I thought it was as good as the first one.
Yeah, I adore the Fifth Element. I can't watch it at any time. I can't watch it anytime ever. It's not a good movie necessarily, but it's a great movie. Hell, it's a lot more Final Fantasy movie than any of the FF movies. That's not entirely unfair. If you had fun watching it, no reason to consider it a bad movie for yourself. Yeah, and also look, what constitutes a bad movie? Because I think a bad film, if a film is entertaining, is it bad? And I think that some people, you would still be able to say yes, but it's like critical analysis of like general constructs of whether or not it's well done is completely separate to, is this compelling in some way? And I think an example of that is I love the movie Repo the Genetic Rock Opera, which is, I think, in some ways an objectively bad movie, but infinitely fascinating to me.
The age of like operatic films was such a mixed bag.
Yeah.
And they're all corny, which like there hasn't been a Star Wars media that has tried to take itself seriously that hasn't been bad. Like they all, except for Andor maybe, they all have to be corny or they don't work.
Well, I mean, they're all rooted in the serials, right? So it's like they're kind of their DNA is rooted there in a way where they can't, to some extent, not. The amount is variable.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's true.
There's some leaked footage from a Sega Jet Set remake that's pretty incredible. Yeah, there's been the rumor mill for the Jet Set remake for forever. I wouldn't be surprised if we get it. And I don't want to say that like, oh, it can't live up to like the original or anything. I just think if the feeling you got from playing Jet Set in the early 2000s is what you're looking for, I don't know that just replaying Jet Set in the 2020s is going to give it to you, because it's not. Part of it is the time and place.
Just go play like a Tony Hawk game.
Yeah. I'm not sure of the Mobius style thing, but I do love cell shading of games like Jet Set Radio. Cell shading never feels dated as it keeps the art on. I'm going to say something very controversial. I fucking cannot stand the amount of JRPGs that use cell shading. I cannot stand it. I love cell shading when it is used as a very specific style, and it is like it is really a fundamental part of what they're going for. But the amount of times that a game just throws on cell shading, and it's like, see, we made it timeless, or we made it anime, or we made it, and I just can't. I just can't.
I think my issue with cell shading is I loved it, right? I was big on, like, even like Borderlands era, I was like, oh yeah, I love cell shading, but there's been too much of it. I like it, but I'm oversaturated. I need a break from cell shading. Although Suda 51 is cell shaded, but it's so characteristically cell shaded his games are that it's fine.
Right. Like, that's my point, is like, it's not cell shading I don't like at all. But it's just it is just applied because people feel like, oh, it makes you feel timeless and still look great, and it just, I don't want to say I want to be very careful with how I frame this. It's gonna sound bad no matter what.
Oh no.
It makes it makes just JRPGs in general feel derivative. It just makes things start feeling derivative because it's just applied willy-nilly, and everything starts looking cell shaded in the same. And it's just like, I can't. I really can't.
AC,
I have strong feelings.
Breath of the Wild has cell shading, but it's not cell shading forward. Its aesthetic doesn't rely on cell shading. It's just a small supplemental part.
I think an example, but like, I love Wind Waker. I fucking adore Wind Waker and its art style, right? It's not cell shading when used as like a fundamental premise in what's being done is great, but when we added cell shading to the 3D models because it helped them look a little bit prettier, it's like,
but at the same time, I think it can be a supplemental element, or like I said in Breath of the Wild, where cell shading is not definitive of the aesthetic, but it isn't so in your face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Mihaly stuff.
I
just bounce off it. Elio's a big Genshin fan, but the aesthetics.
So I really love Genshin, and I think that from a certain standpoint, their art design is great, but I think Genshin's a great example of how all Genshin and their new one and Honkai and all their stuff looks the same, and part of it looks the same because, you know, they're the same company creating a very specific style, but part of it's because of the way in which they cell shade, and I want to be very clear, go watch, there is design docs with MiHoYo's group, and that was by design. They went, yes, we will sell better, and we know it will do better if we make it look like anime. Like, not, they weren't like, oh, like they're like, no, just make it look kind of like anime, and cell shading, like, they knew exactly what they were doing, and I don't even criticize them for, but it is that exact thing I'm saying, just like, now cell shading makes a game look kind of like a JRPG just by nature of it. And it's like,
I hate, it really gets under my skin that you could look at like a screenshot of any place in Genshin, you could look at a screenshot of any place in Honkai, and even though they're like different time zone inspired genres, like, the art direction and the art itself is so identical that I couldn't tell you which one is which. Yeah,
but that's, again, by design on their part. I really love Genshin. I think Genshin's a fantastic game in terms of gameplay. The gameplay, the route, I mean, look, I hate gachas, and I think it's probably next to Arknight's the best gacha I've ever experienced. In terms of like fairness, in terms of the amount of resources you can accrue. And the fact that you can, you know, you don't need a C6 to deal with stuff, like it. But I have, the aesthetics aside. And again, it's a very pretty thing. So what I'm saying is not that like, oh, it's unaesthetically unappealing or something, because that's completely
boring.
It's that it's just boring, and yeah. I love the Howard the Duck film, unironically. I mean, it's a funny film. The music of Repo is pretty decent. Yep. If a bad movie is fun to make fun of, it's good. If a bad movie is boring, it's bad. Yeah, I think the worst thing you can be as a film is boring. Or worst thing you can for media is to be boring.
I mean,
right?
It's like it's like what they say about fictional characters. You know, it's worse to be annoying than it is evil for a fictional character.
Yeah. I'm gonna finish up real quick so we can continue forward. Okay, it's a bit slow day for me. I only just realized you're already in Babel. Yeah, we're going a bit slow ourselves too. Mega Man Legends still looks amazing. I have to relook at Legends. Luckily, Skies of Arcadia pulls it off well. I think that's my favorite one. Skies of Arcadia, I think, might actually be an example of one where Skies of Arcadia. Yeah, so Skies of Arcadia, I think, does it fine, but it's honestly, for me, it's actually the exact same issue of games from that period, games like Rogue Galaxy, Dark Cloud 2 or Dark Chronicle. Like a lot of games from that exact period, that GameCube period, did that where they just applied it. It's not that they're not aesthetically appealing, but it's that they all threw it on, you know, because it was an effective way to like try to make it look a little nicer. And it just makes them all look the same. Like the Tales game did it. All those GameCube JRPGs were like that. Cell shading is not aesthetic in and of itself. Yeah. How do you feel about cell shading? You nearly got to that. Just putting bland cell shading on something is just like making sprite art and calling your game timeless. Yeah, that's actually a great way of putting it, Levi. I can't with MiHoYo games. I could play a game with FF7 models and art. I think I don't. 7's CG rendered backgrounds are great. Its models are literally to the point where I could not understand the story as a player because of the pantomime limitations of those models. So while they're aesthetic, that early PS1, I think that FF7 to me is just a little bit too far in the. It's too blocky. The in-game, like in combat models, sure, but the like actually playing through the game literally is just. It's too much. It's too much. I love Ganondorf's crazy laugh and Wind Waker. Yeah. FF7 art is very dated. I find it hard to recommend as a first game. Someone I recommend FF10 or 8. Yeah, I think even 8's hard because of the crunchiness of its. I think anything PS2 on, I would have to recommend. Because I think PS1 just has too much crunchiness to it. I think 8's a lot better than 7 in terms of that department. Still, I love. Sorry, you got something?
I just don't like. I think 8's aesthetics are no better than 7, but I think 9 is a big step up.
When was the last time you look at the like world runaround models of 7 versus 8?
They're more like human in their proportions, but the facial stuff isn't any better.
The facial stuff isn't much better, but the bodies are better by a degree by magnitude.
They don't need to be. Like the chibi stuff isn't a problem with 7's models.
To me, it is. Like it genuinely is.
But 9 is all chibi.
Like when.
Like it's all like
no,
abstracted. It's abstracted. Okay, it's like they're shorter, rounder, or like stick thin. You know.
No, they're human body proportions.
They are not human body proportions.
Yeah, we're gonna pull this up. Okay, FF8 models. That's not chibi.
It's not chibi. You're right, but it's not.
Look, that's like human proportions.
It's not human proportions. They're abstracted. They're cartoonish.
How is it? Okay, well, we'll get in more into it when we get to that point.
Okay.
I'm just gonna catch up with these really quick. Okay, FF7R is very dated. I find it hard to recommend it. Early 3D can be very awkward as it's worse than 2D. Yeah, I love 7 for its background and how it works with 3D, but I still love the 3D models the way they are, the same way I love pixel art. Yeah, FF7 backgrounds are beautifully drawn, and the heroes and bosses tend to be good, but random monsters are either tolerable or bad. Honestly, I never had problems with monsters. My problem with the graphics of 7 are that the limitations of the chibi art style it went for during gameplay actively took me out and actively made navigation and certain things confusing as well as what was being intended. Yeah, Dark Chronicle, Dark Cloud 2 also looked nice, but it did look the same as well. Yeah, see, I love Dark Cloud 1. I think Dark Cloud 2 is literally on a technical level just a vast improvement, but I think is because it just looks like every other JRPG of the time, I find Dark Cloud 2 far more boring and aesthetic than Dark Cloud 1.
I have
not found the pantomiming endearing. Okay. I found the pantomiming endearing. Well, then that totally makes sense why that would work. 10 is good. 10, look, if you, the oldest FF game that I think a player could play and feel like not really have any qualms about its age in terms of look is 10. And I know I'm a 10 stan, but that's just because look, I think the FF9 you could get away with pretty easy because it's more cartoonish intentionally. So I think 9 might be fair, but like 10 I think was like just such a step up. Yeah.
10,
I think the FF7 pantomime.
If you're looking for like realism, and it's which maybe isn't the right word because so much of it is like magical, but you know what I mean, right? Yeah. In terms of models, at least, 10 is definitely the way to go, if that's what the person wants. But I think 9, and I also think 6.
Okay, yes, Pixel. Pixels. I think is completely different because I think there's not really any reason that 4 through 6 would there be a huge. You know, they're competent.
I feel like 5's art direction is a little bit lacking.
Maybe. It's been a while. To be squalls, like, yeah, Levi agrees with me. Yeah, so I think if pantomiming is really good. I mean, look, that's good. I'm glad it works for you. I will say, personally, coming to it, and anytime I've sat people in front of it, it has been a hindrance. My question is, and I don't mean this as a rose-tinted glasses, but genuine question for Rune and Levi. Did you guys play 7 near its release, or did you play it as adults? Yeah. Oh, Matt, good to see you. Glad to have him. Curious how Bomb Rush Cyberpunk will do trying to get those Jet Set Radio vibes. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, longer limbs. An artist, I can tell you don't follow human proportions, not to say it's bad. Well, okay. Maybe this is just a problem here. I'm not saying Squall's limbs are 100% exactly human proportions, no doubt perfect anatomy. My point is that his limbs are are not, he's not 4 feet tall with biceps that's Popeyes and yeah. I played as a child. Well, so my point is, when did you first play it, Rune? Not when did you play it later. Yeah. Can't do this for me, yeah. I played it as a child with the release a few years before that too. Yeah, I would just say that I think the difference of playing it at a younger age can also greatly affect it. Have a safe trip, Master Rubicante! Do not worry about me. Hydaelyn has already been decimated along with its ninjas, taking care of things until I return.
I love this, fucked up scientist guy.
Lugae?
Yeah.
If you don't know, Lugae also showed up in Babel, obviously,
yes.
in 14.
Yeah, he's the student of the one who kidnapped Kryl. Or is he the rival of him? He's something.
Aulus?
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of, yeah. I'm not sure. I forget what Lugae's relationship with Aulus is. Golbez and Rubicante are gone! I'm in charge now.
What's with him?
Who is there? Huh? Cecil, how did you get up here? Caught you at a bad time, eh? What a pity Rubicante isn't around to protect you. How dare you disrespect me, fool! I may not be an elemental lord, but I, Dr. Lugae, am the brains of Golbez's operation. On my honor, I will protect this tower! That's a laugh. I've heard enough of you. My greatest creation will shut you up soon enough.
This is the boss, right?
This is also the...
Yeah.
Yep, this is the first boss of...
Oh, man.
Barnabas the Barmy. He looks like a rat.
Yeah, he does. He looks like a Skaven.
Yo, you big oaf! Over there, beat them up, not me!
I like that they put slapstick in the fight.
So much more characterization.
Yes. This would be a good, I know there is a 3D remake, but this would be a good modern 3D remake. This game.
Yeah. For sure.
Where the hell did Golbez dig this guy up? Probably Baron, he's Sid's rival or something.
Why is there no encyclopedia Eorzea for My baby! You hurt my baby! You've left me no choice. I'll control him myself.
The sprite work on this fused one doesn't work so great. I think their colors are too close together.
Yeah. I do like how he's kind of controlling him.
Yeah, I like the concept, but I feel like it's not so well executed.
I had played 7 on release, then I had years of really wanting a remake that would change the map art style to something closer to battle sprites. Now I go back and see how charming the blocky models. Yeah. Also, don't take my umbrage with it as a... Yeah. What's this button do? As necessarily as a decry against you, Rune, or Levi. Jesus.
I like that you made it and doesn't know what the button does. Nebraska's from
How dare you! I'll show you why I'm feared. Is he gonna turn into the Lugae thing from the second boss fight, I wonder?
I don't remember.
Transform! Called it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Infinite. The boss is really good in Babel. I like the slapstick they brought into that one as well.
Here's the other thing. So I was just talking to one of my partners who's been wanting to work on creating a game with me and stuff, and we were discussing this, right? I was trying to show her Dark Cloud 1, whose aesthetics I really like, partly because I played it at a young age, and I really do adore them. And she didn't see the appeal of them, and also when I tried to show her the appeal of demakes, like that Bloodborne demake, she just saw it as just a straight downgrade.
Oh, that's a
right?
shame.
So there's definitely room for a lot of like what is gonna appeal to different people's huge goal.
I've been like thinking like for like about 18 years now. I've been thinking about doing like an RPG maker game, but I don't have the coding ability. I know you don't need much, but I have none.
You really don't. I'd say let's make a game to Neri, but we already have our plates full of
one day. So I haven't played Dark Cloud, but in terms of its aesthetics, I don't love them, but I don't dislike them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other thing is I don't know how well it shows in terms of like static images either.
That's fair. It's
like,
just so brown.
Oh, it very much is. I think for most people it wouldn't necessarily be very appealing. Also, I think part of what appeals to me about it is the combination of all its elements.
Okay, that's fine.
So, like, for instance, it's music, it's the experience of going through it in and of itself, rather than any one, like, aesthetic aspect to it.
Uh-huh.
Phoenix down.
Yeah, Rag, I get it, but like there are definitely really good demakes out there. Like the Bloodborne demake is so good, stuff like that. I've been thinking about playing Bloodborne again, but I don't have a PS4. But that's cheap as piss now.
Christ. Well, yeah, I mean you can get a non-Neo one very, very easy.
So maybe I should do it.
Let's see. What's the crits? Let's try barrier. Let's see what happens with that. Yeah, that actually worked.
AC, you're curious how Luge turned himself into a robot in 14. There's enough about like transference and stuff that it's possible.
Yeah, I just imagine that he like had a Magitech machine that like,
yeah,
you know, like started replacing his body parts or something like that. I know it happens quickly, but
it is what it is. Plus, there's some implied time skip done between like different levels of stuff. Like same with Crystal Tower. The impression I always get with Crystal Tower is that it takes us like several hours, but obviously they skip the middle steps.
That's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't considered that like the fighting through the tower might actually be a much longer affair than we see in the dungeon.
I mean, I definitely think that's true with Crystal Tower, particularly because it's so tall.
Mm-hmm. Well, you also do have the elevator. Well, anyways. You're too late! The Tower of Babel connects the underworld and the overworld, and Rubicante has already taken all the crystals to the surface. The dwarves will be annihilated by my cannons. Victory is mine!
Okay.
He went boom.
The dwarves are in danger.
We have to stop the cannons. What are we waiting for? Let's go.
Oof, ow. I hate poison that hurts you in the other world.
I have a bad feeling that if we don't deal with it healing now, we're going to get into a fight and it's going to go poorly.
Yes, almost certainly.
So is the Lugate's key... Yeah, I'm assuming we're supposed to go back down.
Yeah, Levi, that's probably what it is. It like I said, just transference of stuff is definitely possible in the Gallian tech world. Aulus is...
Yeah, you can theory... It's very easy to come up with theories as to why. Difference. 10 is a masterpiece. Took the BS to the max. Totally agree, Rydia, but I'm no one surprised by that. I love FF5's writing protagonists roasting each other endlessly was so fun, especially Galif. Well, we'll get there soon. Doesn't he remind you of the Nebraskas from Trial Gun? It's been so long since I read Trigun. FF14 put Luke near the boss just for him to be clubbed with the very first attack, faithfully recreating the scene. Yeah. I would only if you said the character story bad, then I'd have to fight you. No, I think 7 struggles to tell its story sometimes. I don't think 7's story is bad at all, and I think the remake kind of proves that point in that like all those characters only needed slight polishing to like really shine. But no, I don't think the characters in Story 7 are bad. I don't think any Final Fantasy that has had story as characters, actual characters, have been bad. I think 2 might be the closest with your main protagonist, but that's just because they don't have characters, but they still bothered to name them.
The only character was Bean.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Minmu?
No, the big buff guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like Minwoo and like Yosef and stuff also like had stuff going on.
They didn't feel so well. Like I think bad seems like too harsh a word, to be honest, but very flawed.
It also depends on whether or not. Well, and are you talking about of the time too?
Yeah, exactly.
Of the time,
they do a good job for the time.
Yeah, the remake is actually just bad, very bad. I emphatically disagree with that. The remake, I think, is an incredible game. Personally, I think Rune. I don't know if they're messing with us or not, because the remake's only fundamental problem is that it's not a remake. Ultimately, it is a response to the original. But that game, the characterization of that game is some of the best characters that Final Fantasy has ever done, full stop.
I get disliking some of the end stage stuff that happens in it, like the really late stuff, but for me, I liked it, and I loved the rest of it.
I wanted it to be a straight remake, and I don't necessarily love the direction that they're going at the end, but I also appreciate that they're committing themselves to it, and I think beyond that, they've done so much around it and so much to earn going into that with the characters and how strong their characterization of Aerith and Cloud and Barret and Tifa is.
It's also just really fun
at this point. They have, gameplay wise, it's just a lot of fun. But I have more of a connection to those characters from just remake than I did from the entirety of 7 with the originals. And I feel like I have a much better sense and understanding of Cloud as this character in specific.
Yeah.
The remake thing is an exercise in. See, that's interesting, Rune, because I literally feel the exact opposite. The characters are understood well enough in the original. But I'm trying to tell you, Rune, I didn't. I know you're saying that they were, but I'm telling you that I didn't in the original. I didn't feel like I understood these characters. I didn't feel like Tifa was a character nearly as strongly, other than in the vacuum of Cloud, or Cloud's motivation up until literally the final third of the game did I have any sense for his character, really.
And I will say a lot of the issues that I had with the combat in 7 Remake were fixed by Integrate. Just if you don't know the content there, play Integrate.
I really don't. I'm assuming you're not trolling me, but no, I guess I can tell you that it wasn't a waste of time.
What level?
Because yeah, I guess I just don't agree. It's one of my favorite combat systems they've done. Remakes, going through Remake was one of the more fun I've had. Actually, it's the most fun I've had in a mainline Final Fantasy since. It was more fun than 13, more fun than 15 for me. Probably more fun than 12, probably 10. The Drum, the Warehouse, the Sewers Part 2.
But they're not massive parts of the game. Sewers, I guess, but
also the Warehouse for me definitely wasn't, because the Warehouse was so tone setting and was also so much about ultimately served such a function for Aerith's character, and the gameplay too. Yeah, I guess I don't know why that was a waste.
Look, I'm not going to say you're wrong. Everyone's entitled to their personal opinion. For me, I really liked Remake, and I agree that certain points felt a little padded, maybe, if that's what you're saying.
Ha! Killing dwarves is fun! You cowards! You! How did you get in here? Kill them! Oh, dude, the dancing part was... That is literally what sold me the game.
Yeah.
Was when they had that, and the way that they took a scene that had been a part of 7 that was really kind of regressive and made it so incredibly progressive, really did so much for me.
I like to kill Cage too. I like Cage too a lot. I'm
destroy the controls.
I suck at rhythm games too, but I was able to recognize I didn't do well on it, but I can recognize that it's still a really iconic section.
Mm-hmm. I guess the difference to me is also in the prior game is if you didn't do the sections, all the mini games perfectly, you weren't going to get the specific outcome you wanted. Whereas you were had a lot more control over like experiencing the like dress and outfit you wanted in the remake. Nothing can stop the cannons now. What? Damn it. Yang!
What are you doing?
Leave this to me. Go. Get out of here, brother.
No.
It's going to explode. Go now. Yang! Cecil, everyone, thank you for the memories. Open the door.
Yang. Please, don't do this.
There must be another way. Tell my wife I'll always be with her. Yang! Farewell, brother. Yang! Oh, and they play the sad music because fuck us. I do love that they play... We get this... Where do we get this in 14? Because this is just the overworld theme, but it's it's a melancholy version, that's why.
Yeah.
I was like, where? But yeah. Fun, don't get me wrong. The only thing I think is really bad is the weird place with the solar panels. I hate that bit. The rest is fine. I hate the dancer part, but I suck at rhythm games. That is good to see, glad to have you. Give me an Atlantica and Cage 2 flashbacks. See, I also like rhythm games, so I'm weird there. Actually blasted the dance floor part first try. Solid. I love the new Honeybee Inn, but I also kind of hate erasing the grimy, desperate sex work atmosphere of the original Honeybee Inn. I guess I didn't feel like they erased that. I feel like they altered, they changed it. Like the desperation of the towns there in the slums there is still present.
Plus, like, Kone was literally kidnapping girls, but it felt like they took the focus away from the Honeybee. Maybe, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I guess that's true, but at the same time, I don't think that's like the tone that the game is going for, which is, you know, you can criticize that, that's fair, but
yeah. No, I mean, well, here, I think here's like a place where we can, I don't know, maybe all agree, but I'll say, I agree. Like Rune's point about lamenting not having a true remake, I 100% agree. Like I that emphatically, I can love the current remake, but I do think the biggest problem with the current remake is the fact that we don't get a true remake.
Yeah. That
allows people to modernly engage with the story before now engaging with something that assumes that you've engaged with the original story to make full sense of what it is.
Yeah, you need
like that is problem.
The problem with 7 remake is that you have to play 7 first.
Yeah.
Which is not the point of a remake.
Right. That's why it's like a response more than anything.
Yeah.
I do think the I think mobile thing that they're coming up with is a solution, which is basically using the models and basically telling the story of 7 in like a vignette form in like a mobile game. That's like, I mean, mobile game in the loosest sense, just that it's on mobile platform. But I know for most people that's definitely not a solution because most people would just like immediately off the bat see mobile and are just gonna reject it out of hand anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand turning it down, right? To be honest, like the some of the stuff in that area. What's that area called? What's that part of the slums
Which area
called?
Oh fuck. I'm forgetting all the names now.
Yeah, not 666. The actual like the colloquial name for it. Walmart, yeah. It's such a funny name. It's a lot of it was very, very dark. So I agree that turning it down might be better for a modern audience. Not saying that's the right thing to do, but I see why they did it.
There's also a difference between implying it in a format that is pantomiming and has so many restrictions, like visual restrictions, versus showing it in the fidelity of a current game like FF7.
Yeah, it might be quite disturbing
like,
to see in a game with that detail.
It is very, like, and voice acting and every other element. And so I think that tune is in essence part of it. See, but the thing is Rune. So like the thing is I guess I would disconnect those because wanting to see the original story, you say we love, but it's like I didn't love 7. Partly because I liked 7, but I didn't love 7 partly because of its limitations. I fell in love in 7 once I started engaging with it through things like Crisis Core, right? That's when I began to fall in love with that world and those characters.
Fell in love with Angeal's big buff arms.
Yeah, clearly. So like to me, I get the desire to want to see the original remade. I'm totally in favor of. I guess I just don't see why that has to inherently come at the cost of saying that current remake is bad.
Well,
disappointment.
They do have other issues with it and stuff, so I see it, but for me, it's not the case.
Sector 6. Walmart. Yep, Walmart's is a canonical name now. I heard Ever Crisis has some story issues. They changed some things. I forget the details. I'd have to look into it, but I think there are things that are probably worth changing. I wonder if they change them to make some of them make more sense, or things around Angeal, or not Angeal, but a Genesis or whatever. I enjoyed 7 more once you left Midgard, yet outside of Midgard was more generic fantasy. Yeah.
If you could choose one game to get an FF7 style remake, but without the alterations to the story, what would you choose?
I don't know that there's any FF that in transforming it into a remake, I wouldn't want some alterations.
No, some alterations, but I mean, wouldn't make massive story alterations like 7 remake, as in whole different angle they take with it.
Yeah, I mean, 8 is most in need.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing is that I think 8 even could deal with some massive story alterations, because I think there's like some really good ideas at the heart of it that just don't.
For me, the fact that I just don't like 8 all that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I maintain that I might start loving it.
The thing is, 10, frankly, 9 on don't need it, really.
But 9 would be so cool.
Yeah, but 10 would be cool too, but it's not necessary.
But 10
right?
really doesn't need it.
Really doesn't need it, yeah. The thing is, like, you can do, if you HD up-resing 9 and you're pretty good to go.
Yeah, 9 does well enough. I would love to see it in the new style and stuff, and in the new gameplay, but I do think that something like 2 has a lot of bones there that could be built upon. I mean, it's just Star Wars.
2 does need it. Yeah, 2 does need it. 3, I mean, I think there's a lot of edges you could fix with 3, or things you could expand upon in 3. I don't know that 4, like 4 would be really good. I don't know that 4 needs it, but I think 6 in the same category, that 6 doesn't need it, but a 6 remake and getting like the full tragedy and the devastation of Kefka, I think actually would be really cool in a full 3D remake.
I think my choice would have to be 2, because I think 2 needs it the most, and I think 2 has the most potential. Mm-hmm. You know, the most untapped potential. These legs are lame.
13 would be so much.
Why do they always give birth to the same chameleon?
I don't know. It's got. Well, wait. Doesn't maybe that chameleon's supposed to be kind of like a basilisk, because it like stone eyes you and stuff, and basilisks do hatch from eggs.
Yeah, but we're already fighting them.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost again.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it. Yeah. 13 would be so much better, slightly different. Yeah, 13's pacing is really its fundamental flaw. I think like it has other flaws, but the pacing for getting the fact that you don't get your team together until right before you go to Grand Pulse, like really, yeah, 13's pacing is really. I mean, the thing that's funny is like 13 and 10 are both hyperlinear games, but 10's not criticized in the same way 13 is for its linearity.
13 overstays its welcome at several stages.
Yeah. 9 was a lot harder than the rest of the new FF games. I got lots of game overs. Yeah.
So
well, that's also because older games expect grinding, part.
Rag, we actually did like the WoW style of leveling up your skills in 2.
Because I'm crazy.
But at the same time, it's like that's not my main issue with it. But I do think they would have to do away with that in any remake. 13 with some towns would work so much better. Yeah, like side content and more characterization and stuff like that.
Totally, Levi. And I also think if you got your team together a little bit earlier, rather than having, a couple of them and constantly, I think that would go a long way too.
Or at least have the team together and then have them split up to do the side. Like, at least have those moments where they can meet up.
Or something, yeah.
Because I think, I actually, maybe controversial, I'm like, I like the bones of the Hope and Lightning, like, trash dump part and stuff like that, but yeah.
Yeah. No, and I also think, like, for instance, the, like, Snow and Hope contention, I think is actually a fundamentally really cool and good idea. I don't know its execution's that great, but
I did bounce off Snow.
Like, yeah. I think the idea of Snow, though, is also good. The problem is balancing the guy who wants to be a hero but only becomes a hero when he lets go of trying to be a hero, I think is a good idea. The problem is making sure that while the character still hasn't realized yet that they need to let go of that they're not too annoying.
I think Snow does a lot better in X2 than in
Everyone does better in 13-2. Every single one of those characters is better in 13-2.
You're just a 13-2 stat.
I am, but it's because 13-2 is just better.
I think what the truth is that all that Snow's character arc was waiting for was a big gooey boy to fight.
You never cease to amuse me. Golbez! When the cat is away, the mice will play. But the game ends now. Also, Rune, sorry, I think if I misconstrued one of your points. Sorry about that earlier. Oh, shit! Run! You've seen Indiana Jones, Cecil, run!
You should have run faster. Okay.
See, I feel like moments like that would be a great moment where I'd love to see like that in 3D.
Yeah.
Like, the pixel art can evoke, but it isn't. And sometimes that's enough to understand literally what's going on, but sometimes it doesn't allow certain emotions to read. Okay, all you.
Whoa, doesn't get any closer than that. Fuck me. Sid. Where's Yang? He
was a hero to the very end.
So, we've lost another good man. I'm getting it.
You got it.
And who's she?
This is Rydia. She's a summoner from Mist.
I have to speak into the roof of my mouth. I figured out. Damn, they're still on. No. Damn, they're still on me. Fuck me. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said I got it. I jinxed myself.
Sometimes you just gotta commit to it. You'll fail, you'll mess up, and just power through it, and you just keep going until it comes back.
I think you're right.
Can we lose them?
I don't know. The Red Wings fleet seems to have been upgraded. The mantra I'm using to get myself back into it is fucking hell. Fucking hell. They're catching up. Come on, baby. You can do it. The engine's not gonna last. Cecil, take over. Sid.
Where are you going?
Once the Enterprise fries out of its surface, I'm gonna seal the entrance with this bomb.
That was that was, for such a crazy idea, that was a very monotone delivery.
Sorry. I'm focusing on the... Wait. Oh yeah, head on back to Baron afterward and get me in touch with me men. Cecil, take good care of Rosa. Treat her well.
Stop! There has to be another way.
Sid, please don't. Sid really hasn't met Sid, but okay. Hey, that's Uncle Sid to you. Remember, head for Baron immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I have it.
I always remember this.
It's a lot. They're repeating textures. Now this is what I call going out with a bang.
He just straight kamikaze him.
Right. and yet he comes back. God damn.
Ooh, that actually looks really pretty. The glow.
That's a big bomb, Sid. Sid's got like the Tsar bomber in his pocket.
I choose to believe that was merely a fart he was holding in, and you can't prove otherwise.
Sid, why?
Everyone chooses death too hastily. Let's head to Baron. Oh man, music all scary.
Arc 2 music.
I thought you spent a lot more time in the under. Oh wait, no, because Babel Part 2 happens later, doesn't it?
Yeah, with the after you kill Rubicante.
Right. Well, but like you also head into the tower from above or something, or maybe you don't head into above. Maybe you do go back down underground.
You do explore the above ground elements more, though. I think.
Yeah. The lack of talent to get me. So many people talk shit on Hope, but nobody remembers the game takes place over like 3 days. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, Levi. Yeah.
Hope is.
I want to like FF. Sorry, go ahead.
Hope is a very Shinji character.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I want to like FF10 too, but I've never gone past Act 1 as I want to do everything, but there's too much and I don't want to miss stuff as I know I can't go back and I don't like knowing I can't. Yeah, there is chapter select later when you finish the game, I think. Maybe I'm forgetting something, or maybe it's just New Game Plus. But yeah, 10.2 is terrible in terms of the fact that you can miss stuff. It's the worst part about that game. I love 10.2. 10.2's a mess, and it is, well, it's not a mess, but it is, someone who really liked Final Fantasy X and wrote a fan fiction about it.
Yeah, I like
10.2 for
I like 10.2. I for a long time I preferred 10.2 to 10.
Yeah. Do you consider Grod to be a better Snow in terms of being a hero before completing his focus? No, because I don't think that's the same thing. I think they're very, 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 very different characters.
Huge. Like the stuff that bounced me off Snow wasn't that. It was the fact that he's so. This is gonna sound really bad. I don't mean it in that way. He's so male.
How do we get to them?
I'm trying to figure out a better way to phrase that. He's so, like, stereotypically masculine. Like, so much of his trope relies on that. I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. No, I definitely don't think you're crazy. I still prefer X2 to X in a lot of ways. Well, I mean, then the thing with Levi too is like I think that that also roots us, and like we're just gonna have different tastes for like the 7 point earlier, right? Because like that is wild to me. As someone who is one of the bigger X2 stans I know, the idea of liking X2 over 10 is not wild to me in that like how dare you? That's crazy. No one can ever do that. But like that's genuinely fascinating to me.
For many years, I preferred 10-2. It was not until my third replay of 10 that 10 took over.
Interesting. Cecil sees a lot of death in game. I'm surprised he's not traumatized more. I mean, there's definitely some implication that he's got some trauma. I mean, think about what he had to do just to become Paladin, really. As someone who 100% 10-2, it does not have the chapter select. Okay, yeah, it doesn't have chapter select. It's what am I thinking of? It has something. It doesn't have a go back function for chapter select. What I know it's in chapters. What am I thinking of? Is it a New Game Plus?
Are you thinking of 13-2?
Maybe I'm just thinking of 13. Well, I'm just trying to remember with 10-2 what I'm thinking of. I might literally have just gone back and played the game over again, and that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, New Game Plus maybe.
I don't think there was a remake. I know in the collection there are some quality of life features, but not most of them aren't solved. But I'll just say the fact that 100% is required for what it's what 10-2's biggest fault is the amount of if 100%ing it wasn't due to missability, it would be fine. But its missability factor just makes it a nightmare because you get like 0.5%. You get not even like 1%, but like 0.5% from talking to a specific NPC, and the game does not tell you that. And if you miss it, you don't even know you've missed it because it's 0.5%, so it doesn't necessarily show up. It's yeah. You know what?
Continue. Lightning Returns is so badly thought out in so many ways. It's just not a good game.
What's thought out poorly?
Lightning Returns.
Oh, the combat's fun. That's my one nice thing I'm going to say about it.
It's fun in parts, but like certain elements of it aren't. Well, like Room was pointing out that one of the harder skills to master would take 13 years of real game time to master.
Yeah.
Like this is.
Hello, Cecil. We're gonna attach a drill to the airship.
Hell yeah! Sound like fucking. Someone put some really pointy sunglasses on me. Oh, I like Kimari Rag. I like Kimari's gameplay stuff. I love blue mages, so.
Reminding me in 13.3 there's an ability you can get. Yeah, it says a mastering. Yeah, lightning returns. I want to be very clear, just like everything else we've been talking about today. If you enjoy it, I do hold you no umbrage for enjoying it, nor do I think that demeans the game or necessarily inherently makes it like, oh, you're just wrong, but you like it. I think that, but lightning returns is a fucking mess.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, it really, really is.
Stinker.
I've said my piece. It's done. Now you can hoist and carry the hovercraft. Just fly the Enterprise right over the hovercraft and press confirm to pick it up and drop it down. You can go pretty much anywhere now, even the Cave of Eblin that leads to the Tower of Babel. It's weirdly specific knowledge, but we thought we'd proffer it to you anyways. Might be of help, or maybe not. We don't know. We're not NPCs that will no longer continue to exist after the end of this conversation, and I fear for the existential part of my existence that will lead inevitably to the utter demise of everything I hold dear.
Hey,
anyways, I'm just some code.
At least they're telling us. At least they're telling us where to go.
Yep. There's something I must tell you both, and it's not about your existential dread. It's about Sid. He's impossible. Yes, we know. With all that crazy energy, I can't imagine he'll ever check out.
Oh.
Of life. I doubt anyone could put him out of commission.
He killed himself.
I foreshadowed. Let's return to work, but good luck to you all. Yeah, I love 10's story, but I find a couple of the party members tend to be very underbaked, Kimari especially. I think Kamari's laconicness mixed with the fact that his story only pays off in totality really with Mount Gagazet. I think that they do stuff too, but I think the problem is like it's just minimalist. It really is, because it's basically just establishing the Gagazet stuff and his role as protector the whole time, and his stoicism means that his stake in the game is kind of communicated purely in his actions other than the limited time he speaks, and so that really only ever pays off with Gagazet. Yeah.
I will say, when we're playing 9, speaking of other characters, you will see me screaming at Elio every time he tries to take Queen out of the party. I'll be like, no, that's my boy, put him back.
We're gonna have some fun.
We are.
Yeah, people say just play the game and learn more each time, but to me, I don't like knowing I'm getting bad ends in my RPGs. I will say in defense of 10-2, its worst ending, its worst possible ending is not a bad ending. It's actually a really beautiful ending about being able to let go and carry on. It's just not the perfect ending. But I think just the idea of like you're supposed to, if you replaying and learning 10-2 would be a fucking nightmare, because you would literally, the game does not tell you what you should have known or done. So, like, there are things you can miss that you would never learn other than by trial and error. It's one of those things where you just have to use an FAQ guide, and that's basically it. Like, you gotta. I mean, I'm sure you could be one of the lunatics who didn't, but... appreciated what Kamar... 10-2 has New Game Plus. That's okay, so that was what I was thinking of. 13-2 has a pseudo-chapter select, yes. Yeah, I couldn't figure out the combat. Pretty sure Kamari is meant to be for the party, but in practice I never played as him, and why have Jack all trades when I have to swap him for every people. Yeah.
He does
Lightning Returns is the same name. Sorry, go ahead.
He does have distinctness insofar as like characters in that game can have distinctness mechanically.
I mean, he's a blue mage and a dragoon.
Exactly.
Like, it's cool.
Yeah, his blue mageness is what makes me like Kamari.
Yeah. Which means that your investment in him is going to greatly pay dividends, except for the thing is that you can get away without using him fairly easily, so it's hard. You have to kind of like willfully choose to put the time into him. And story quality of Disney Direct Home sequel. See, Des, I think that you're being way too unkind to Disney Direct Home sequels, because like Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, pretty good, right? so I think it's much worse than that, in my opinion.
Shuriken, that feels like foreshadowing. This is this is a very like 6 area with all the waterfalls and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I did like Lightning Returns gameplay and time planning. Yeah, the time planning aspect in theory, I kind of like. Like, I can enjoy that in the game. I think... yeah. Anxiety for People did a disservice to the game because I always finished a run with like 4 days left. But yes, it is a mess. I agree. Yeah, I definitely think that the time... I mean, as someone who likes Majora's Mask too, the idea of planning out your time and using it... Or even Persona 5, right? Using your time appropriately is something I do tend to enjoy it, which is ironic seeing as I stress about time management.
Yeah, see, I hate time management in video games, but it's generous enough that it's fine. Because I love to like explore and take my time and shit, but it's generous enough that it's whatever.
I just get a lot out of min-maxing is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lightning should not have returned. Honestly, not gonna lie, as much as 13.2 ends on like the most cliffhangery of cliffhangers with a DLC that's like promising a continuation, I kind of wouldn't have minded it, or not wouldn't have minded, might have preferred if they somehow Lightning Returns is worse than not knowing. Oh my god, that game gets so anime in a bad way. It really does. It really is like a great example to me of like what I mean when I mean, yeah. It
like explores the cosmology of the universe in a way that is just objectively bad, despite me wanting it. Like, it takes it would be like if they explored Scala's history and like it was terrible.
Oh, I gotta change out the Blood Lance. That's why Kane's dying.
Oh, he's hurt himself. Yeah.
Okay. As an FF10 connoisseur, mood. Here's where I go on a rant about how people didn't understand the laughing scene. No, Rag, I think you're relatively new. I've had this speech many times, yes, and we will have a whole conversation about it. but when we get there, no, the amount of people who like literally the point of that scene is one person trying to cheer up another person because that one of the people knows that they're effectively going to their death and trying to force and literally you have a part where they're like actually laughing after. Yeah, you know what? We don't have to do it, but yes, Rag. I'm the same way. Quina better be in the party 100% of the time. I kind of like the worst ending better. Yeah, I actually think there's like real merit to the bad ending of 10-2 in the fact that it's about letting go. And I think it makes in some ways 10's ending more resonant. Though I think the like, yeah. Imagine if I could blue / Dragoon in 14. That would be something.
I'm a big fan of like Elio like disagrees with me on this, but I really wish blue was a main class. But at the same time, they would have had to have cheapened it, so I get it.
Yeah, I just to me it's great side content to be able to like break the game in whatever way you want. Whereas if they had to balance it, you know, who goes there? Oh, humans. Let's get some sleep. Demands! Good to see, glad to have you. How you doing? Glad to see even when I disappear for weeks, Elio rants about people dunking on the scene in Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah. Yeah, dude, also Wakka's... I really love Wakka's character and Wakka's... I don't even want to say, it's just like his micro arc around the Owl Bed, I actually think is one of the better example of like racial tensions dealt with in a JRPG because it's like simultaneously on the forefront, but also it's not like, I don't know, like it's just, I think it's dealt with more deftly of like someone who's kind of, you know, like conservative, who maybe doesn't have as much of an acceptance of the wider world, being able to accept it a little bit more without it being like the major point of the narrative. It's like a kind of in some ways a more background element. Like him accepting Riku and accepting Yuna for her heritage, and
yeah,
I don't know. I like it.
Oh yeah, Wakka killing gods with blitzballs is great. I still want a blitzball chakram. Give it to me.
Look, we got to get either a blitzball chakram or a blitzball job. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I agree, Levi. They should let you queue into anything that isn't Savage or Extremes with blue. I agree.
I don't personally, because I would really hate that. That would literally might make me stop using the duty roulette.
You could certain moves.
Well, but that kind of defeats the point of Blue Mage, and also that's going to take a lot of effort and time to balance. So because they're either going to have to weaken certain moves to make it so like you can only use that set.
But is balance that important in non-Savage and Extreme content?
To me, yes. I mean, I will not speak for anyone else in the game. To me, extremely. To me, balance is good balance is literally one of the things that has kept me around in 14. Like, bad balance is literally what has made me, is one of the primary, if not the primary reason that I left most MMOs.
But it's not even that influential balance in unless you go extreme with it, in like...
Let me put it this way.
Content of that level.
If they make Blue Mage powerful, like enough where the balance doesn't matter, you just have created a system now where people are going to be frustrated if someone doesn't bring a Blue Mage, because you can clear content quicker, whether it's trials, whether it's dungeons, whether it's kind of really is important. And it would lead to people being frustrated with each other one way or another, whether because people were wanting Blue Mage or not requiring Blue Mage, or also, for instance, because of White Wind, you've made healers' jobs kind of like irrelevant. You've kind of made the whole role setup irrelevant. Also, what happens when you have a Blue Mage that can turn on your tank stance, right? You got aggro, and you can out DPS the tank because you're a Blue Mage with all its spells.
What
so now your tanks can't even tank.
What if there's a toggle where you could choose to allow Blue Mages into your crew, into your queue?
I mean, there is. Like, you can do that.
No, currently. But I mean through GT Select up to, but not including Savage and Extreme.
But you can do dungeons and trials with Blue.
But not through GT Finder.
Right. Okay. So you're saying, can you? Okay.
In the same menu where you can unsync, or you could approve joining midway dungeons, stuff like that.
Sure. I think you would still need to do it. That you can't do it for roulette because imagine you've got all the rewards that come from doing daily stuff, right? So you go in for duty roulette, you sign up for a thing, and you get a reward for doing it. Part of the reason the duty roulette exists is so that people of lower levels or doing content for the first time can have someone who can potentially help them. Not necessarily always with expert roulette, but that is especially the case with leveling, MSQ, alliance raid, all that. If you flip the toggle, it means you can only go into that with other people who have flipped that toggle. So now either everyone's gonna flip that toggle, and if you don't have Blue Mage, or let's say you don't have Blue Mage but you can still toggle it, well, that means effectively everybody's now been shifted to flip that toggle because you've split up your player base towards those who can use it, towards who will be put in that, and those who won't.
The player base is big enough to sustain that.
But think about the amount of wait times DPS people already have.
I guess that's true.
That you're gonna you're going to make your quality of life as for the vast majority of players way worse, just so some people can choose to break the game specifically with a singular job. Instead of just saying, hey, if you want to do that, go make a party finder and just go do the content,
I mean, I see what you're doing. I see what you're saying, sorry, but at that point, Blue Mage just loses all allure for me. The station it currently is in now, I was so excited for Blue Mage, but I can't bother to play it.
But I guess just if you wanted it, but if you want it to remain fun in the way that it is, in terms of the weirdness and the ability acquire,
I didn't need all the weirdness.
Okay. But I think if you get rid of that, a lot of people who love Blue Mage for what it is are unhappy. Yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't you do the toggle though? Then? Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. I see a story at this point. Yeah. All I'm saying is the solutions around it. Let me put it this way: if there was a solution presented for allowing it that it would in no way inhibit the broader player base, yes, emphatically yes. This is not a principled no. This is terrible. We should never do that because of the principle of it. There's just no version of it that doesn't either diminish Blue Mage or make the player base, a broader player base's life harder.
Yeah, it's true.
They should do a Blue Roulette. Yeah, Blue Roulette would be totally fun. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be a good fix.
The Prince went to scout ahead, but has yet to return. I want people who like Blue to have more opportunities to use Blue and stuff. Don't get me wrong. You know what? Here's another thing. I wish that they would create a balanced version of Blue Mage for PvP. And I think that would probably still be not fun for most people because you'd be like, well, the point of Blue is being able to choose your spells. But at the least, people who like Blue would have that as an option. Whether that means a version of it that has a couple different spells you can choose from, or a version that's just a fixed kit, but okay, at least if you like the aesthetic and the sensibility of Blue, you still have that option. The Prince went on alone.
Man, doesn't look like the princess alone went so well.
More eggs! I wish it was easier to learn the nuances of playing blue. See, but I guess that's a great example, right? Is that if you make blue's nuances easier, the reason that I think a lot of people enjoy it as content about like all the weird intricacies and like idiosyncrasies of it. Like, think about the channels that exist on YouTube that are just about blue content, right? And that can only exist because of how weird it is. And how, like, much it is allowed to break things. Because it's allowed to break things, it's like magic. You can find all these various ways to end up solving different problems. You know?
Yeah, no, that's true. Blue is just so... This is going to be controversial. I would have sacrificed at least a chunk of what makes blue in 14 now to get like a more conventional
Final Fantasy 11.
Yeah,
like a. You know, it's funny. I've always thought of Blue Mage as like an odd member out in terms of like I never, even before 14, Blue Mage was always like was never like a norm class.
It is
always
yeah,
like a
you're
weird
right.
class.
That's
so to me like. Okay, so like. To me, when it was a limited job, it was like, yeah, that fits in my like how I think about it anyways.
No, I think that's fair. Blue is definitely an odd one out. It is that the class is like so unusual. It's always very unique. It's always on like the unusual side character, like Krina, like the Yeti. Not the Yeti, like the feral boy, Gal. In 6, stuff like that.
Well, and just by nature of like having to acquire abilities in like seeking out monsters, like having that extra aspect to it, I feel like that because like even its power, so like all the other jobs for the most part have a linear, you get certain skills at certain levels, yada yada yada, right? But like a blue mage can swing so wildly in terms of what you've acquired.
Yeah, definitely. Which is why I know that so many people love the way that it works. And I know that it is the coolest way to do it, but it's such a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
You want sub jobs and sub abilities back, Rune? How do you mean? I don't want to have to level black to get any caster class, any healer class.
I guess, can I say something that I probably sounds dismissive, but I don't mean it as such?
Yeah.
If that's what you want, like, just go play 11.
I hate 11.
You know, or like
not
go.
Fun.
Okay, well, but no, I just mean like in terms of like subclassing and stuff. It's like, I guess just like the reason I've stuck around with 14.
You mean Rune?
Is specifically. What?
Were you replying to me or Rune?
Oh, I was replying to Rune.
Okay.
Cash Money, good to see you, glad to have you. The thing for me is I love 14 because it's streamlined, because there's not the options, because like I just want really good balance and to master my job. I don't want choice in that. It's not what I want for my primary MMO. I don't want it because half the time it just feels like false choice because there are options that are actively better than other ones. And so while you can choose one because you stylistically like it, it doesn't, it just ends up feeling like false choice to me. And so I enjoy games that do it, but I don't enjoy them as like my primary big focus all my time working on Savage, working on EX, working on like high-end content games.
I do enjoy them. Like in WoW,
all that to say, well, that's what I was gonna say, and all that to say, like, there's a lot of MMOs, be it your Guild Wars 2, your WoW, World of Warcraft, all sorts of ones that have those choices and spectries and trinkets and all that stuff. And it's like I don't think there's a lot that just keep it really streamlined and focused that are at the like higher end of the MMO, like even Guild Wars 2, your weapon matters, your traits are a little bit different now, but so like to me, I'd much rather, like, I just don't want them to change 14 because it's like there are other options for the other ones, but there aren't a lot of options for this style. Yeah. I played 11. Yeah, I didn't mean like go play 11 as in like, oh, if you haven't played 11, go play 11. I just meant more, my point was really less to say like, oh, you should just go play that. It's more like that there are other things that do that in specific, you know? Yeah, I agree with having balance. I just don't think it would necessarily unbalanced to have it. I guess... having played many MMOs, I have never experienced an MMO that has perfectly balanced those, like, or has really meaningfully balanced those options.
It does
because inherently
complicate balance, yeah.
Right. Because once you add that extra aspect, you may be able to clear with anything, but if you have something that is definitively far better, or just better, you end up, like, people like me who, like, care about doing higher end content, or, like, care about trying to maximize it, I don't feel like I get to choose anymore, because you've made a thing that where it's, like, it's just so meaningfully on different scales. I think, like, specializations in Guild Wars 2 would be a good example, or, certain, like, playing vanilla WoW or like classic WoW or something, like certain spec trees, like you're just doing certain things worse.
I mean, that's true in modern WoW. It's always been true in WoW. Like, look at Icy Veins at any single point, and they are gonna, like, and people are gonna, even in like the most basic content, dungeons and stuff like that, people are gonna belittle you for playing Fire Mage. Say if Arcane and Frost is so much better. They're gonna get on your ass about it.
And it just fosters contention. And it's like, and if that doesn't bother you, if you're like, you don't care that you're doing 5% less because you can still clear, it's like, whatever, that's fine. I'm just saying, as a player, for me, it really does matter. It really does affect my enjoyment of the game.
See, it doesn't for me, but I don't want it included in 14. Like, I can go to play. I'm not gonna. I don't want to give Blizzard money, but I could go play WoW for that. I could go play Guild Wars if I enjoyed Guild Wars 2. For that. Yeah, Rune, look, no game is ever going to have 100% perfect balance. 14 doesn't, like you said, but it is in a much better case than most other MMOs in terms of balance.
The degrees of different are enormous. You're talking about usually 1 to 2, like you're talking like at very rarely, like between tanks, you're talking about like 1 to 2% at most. And then at like, you're not talking about the difference between if you bring a paladin versus a warrior, it being complete, like, depending on the patch in World of Warcraft, just completely different. Like, your entire build and entire job being potentially invalidated for the entirety of a patch, which could go for months and months and months and months and months. I mean, that happened in Guild Wars 2 with Firebrand at different points. And I know from experience, or like, you know, to be fair, Endwalker Warrior has been completely broken the entire time. But the thing is, it's not. Like, the thing is that Endwalker Warrior, in terms of DPS, is not, like, if you look at logs, it's not even at the top of the DPS charts. Its mitigation is incredibly high, and its ability to self-sustain is high, but the thing is that it's not, like, that's things that it's again a difference of not that it's not that huge. The thing is that the things you can pull off as warrior and lower level content, for instance, is very different. The utility that Paladin has, for instance, in being able to use clemency in directed ways, or its specific invuln over the warriors, like, there are trade-offs in utility. Yeah, self-sustain is unreal. But yeah, but like, for instance, Dark Knight doesn't have self-sustain and is in a wonky place a little bit, but like for a long time was one of the higher DPSs. So you trade off a little bit of sustain for a little bit of DPS. Paladin, yeah. And so, like, you know, Gunbreaker, you have Aurora and other options besides too. All mages spec enjoyers, yeah. So entirety of expansion. Elio. Infinite. I love that 14 didn't get kicked the group like freaking last, like, or the entirety of an expansion. Yeah, not just for a patch, but entirety of expansion, yeah. Yeah, but so, like, a specific job being able to do a certain thing because of, like, using it really interestingly is very different than it. Like, being able to pull that off, like, because of, like, doing some really weird stuff it's cool. That doesn't mean they're unbalanced. For instance, that ability to self-sustain does you no good within the confines of, like, certain EX fights and certain Savage fights. Like, it's good, but it doesn't change the fact that your DPS output doesn't necessarily change so much, and you have to, like, emphasize that sustain over your DPS sometimes, or that, like your trade-offs. It's just slightly different tools. The self-sustain with Warrior meant you could do dungeons without a healer for a bit, and that's not that different from what you were talking about Blue doing to the dungeons. Except for the different, yeah, except for, I guess, to me, that's still different, because that's if you do things a very specific way, one job was able to sustain through it. But you could pull stuff off like that with like with Clemency. I've pulled stuff off with Paladin like that. Like you can do that with just Clemency and Paladin.
It's possible. I've done it before,
yeah, and if you're using Involving and Mitigation properly. Yeah, solo a boss without a healer as any tank. I mean, literally just last stream, I soloed, exactly Infinite, yeah. So I don't think that's just, I think the person who struggles the biggest with that is Dark Knight. But a lot of the other jobs can do shit like that. I've saved rounds with Clemency, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. What's Edge's voice?
Oh yeah, it's a good question. What do we want to do?
Well, you said you wanted to do White Boys, and Sid's no longer. Well, but most of our party you're already doing, so I'll do it.
Okay, you do.
Believe it. No, I'm not going to do Naruto. He's a ninja.
That'll be out.
Ribicante, at last we meet.
Oh my god.
Am I supposed to know who you are? I am Edge, Prince of Eblin. Eblin, I don't believe I've heard that name before. It doesn't matter, because you're about to meet your demise at my hands, Edge. The hands of Edge. Flame. Poor technique.
Oof.
This is how it's done. Looks like Rukante's doing hand signs.
Hell yeah. He's a ninja. He's kind of ninja-y.
I must say I'm quite impressed. Continue your training. I look forward to our next meeting. Come back! Are you all right? I can't believe I lost. Who are you?
Who aren't we? We're after Rubicante, same as you.
Stay out of this. He's mine. Well, you obviously don't know who you're dealing with. He's one of the 4 elemental lords. You saw how easily he overpowered you just now. Ha! You take me for some craven prince? I'm the rightful heir to the throne of Eblin, a kingdom long famed for its ninjutsu. Believe it. Leave. I can take care of myself.
Stop it. You take me for a prince? I'm a prince.
Neri.
Oh, sorry. Tyler, Yang, Sid, they're all gone. Please, no more.
Hey.
Rydia.
Rubicante is the strongest of the 4 fiends. The odds might be against us, but somehow we must recover the crystals. All right, I'll let you take a share of the action. I never could bear to see a pretty girl cry. He's got quite a mouth. Rosa, give me a hand.
Kira.
Kira! Oh, that's you. I'm sorry. Thanks. Not 1, but 2 charming ladies. Maybe this won't be so bad after all. You know, I'm kind of glad I picked this voice now.
Yeah, I didn't remember him being this way.
All right, let's do it.
Gee, I don't know about him.
Savage Rydia.
I don't blame her. I do not remember this characterization, I'll be honest.
FF really loves nobility characters, yeah. Anyway, to cap the thought off, I simply dislike my Dragoon being the same as anyone's Dragoon. It's rooted in that feeling. Yeah, I guess, like, to me...
I get it.
It totally makes sense. I totally get it. And when I do the thing where it's like, I totally get it, and then I also say, like, my counterpoint, which probably sounds like I'm just, like poo-pooing it, but I don't mean that. I guess for me, it just doesn't end up feeling like it actually is distinct, because unless you have a lot of options... you're ultimately just going to be a similar option to others, and unless those options are very, very, very balanced, you're implored to use a Dragoon that is like everyone else's anyways. So I much prefer give me a job to master, and give me a selection of things that I need to master and improve my agency and individuality through my own skill, rather than necessarily just making different choices that end up feeling false for me.
What I will say is that having specs in a game makes RP easier.
True, yeah. How do we get in? Watch this. Ready? Shadow Clone Jutsu!
How did that work?
I'm not gonna question it. He got us in. There are definitely advantages, and there's definitely a lot of fun to be had. And I know, and I've talked to plenty of people who feel like because there aren't those options and choices, for them 14 can feel stale. So, like, I know this is definitely a prevalent feeling, for sure. Talk about being edgy for someone needed. Does he play guitar for you? You too?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Someone invent time magic so we can go back in time and leave him bleeding in the cave.
It really doesn't feel like he's a ninja. Like, it doesn't feel like the characterization that they put in the ninja, like, in a lot of other stuff.
You know, I'm thinking just some of the ninjas we do witness in 14, and I don't know, some of them are characters for sure. Maybe not womanizers in the same way. Yuffie, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but Yuffie is like a cringe fail ninja, I guess that's true. Karasu.
Not
Karasu from what?
From 14.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, fair.
He's a bit of a... That dance, though, like, his moves, like, I don't know what else to say beyond that.
Karasu is... I get what you're saying. I feel like he has different vibes.
He does have the giant shuriken, yeah.
Yeah.
Best individuality in this game is your killer custom glam. I guess for me, that killer custom glam more often than not... Here's what I think. The choice of job is still very representative of you as a player, and like glam to me is a much more outward-facing expression of that, especially in a game where you can have effects turned off. The difference between someone bringing one spec of ninja or another doesn't really alter that much from my perspective, from the outside looking in. But again, that doesn't change that it doesn't feel different for others.
Oh, you go full representative to Mins? Okay, fair. I just have my new glam that I stick with.
I mean, look, that's how we've been playing Elio throughout the MSQ stream, so...
Oh, to be fair, my Paladin glam is different. It's a Breastblade cosplay.
Nice. I just checked back on stream to Rubicante talking to Dr. Lugaze. Literally said he dealt with the ninjas of Eblin. Rubicante being a jerk right there. Yeah, Rubicante definitely was just like clearly just messing with him.
Yeah, right?
You still show individuality this way because you're wearing it while others not. Yeah, and I mean, that's also why I'm always glad for more glam, even if I don't like the glam, because it just broadens the spectrum of ways you can make your character look like your own, however you want to.
Yeah.
The only... Nice, Divins. Lamia.
Sexy-old Lamia. It's all part of Rubicante's, like, fruity little ensemble.
I can't tell if it's just perception, but I swear to God, I feel like there's actually been fewer monster types in this than there were in some of the earlier ones.
I think you're right.
Just because we've...
Like, it feels like the... Oh, Jesus Christ, Edge. It feels like the monster tables are more narrow in each area. Like, you get, like, 3, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah, maybe it's just because we haven't explored the round of the world as much. It's been semi-linear.
Yeah. I think pirate suits ninja does. I think that makes sense.
Something Kaizoku.
Yeah.
Kaizoku versus ninja.
I mean, they have that. There's a rogue spec in WoW that's pirate themed.
Is there really?
Yeah. They reworked like the blade worky one, you know, like the warrior one to be all piratey.
Yeah, I guess, man, I'm sorry, Levi, if I'm sounding like a contrarian. I actually really like this glam. The jacket for tank I'm using for my gunbreaker. I've been really, and also the weapons are for the most part really great too. I think some are hit or miss, but that's always true. And then the Anabasios, like the healer Anabasios is awesome. The tank, I think, is if they're continuing kind of the legacy of what they've been doing for what they did for Abyssos, I think the Anabasios one works pretty well. I think the thing I want more of is I want them to do more of like that glittering glow effect rather than just having like big chunks of crystals or something. Like more like gentle, soft glow things going on.
Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes the glow's a little too harsh, so.
Yeah, so I don't know. Have you seen the like most recent Tombstone armor set or Anabacio set?
I can't say I've seen every pit, but I've seen several of them.
Yeah, like the healers is great because it's basically it's like this beautiful like gown, and it has like sort of a shawl part to it, but the shawl actually has like a very soft glow to it and like this like little whisper trail of glitter that is super understated. In a way that's like you can kind of see it during the day and it's lovely and it's a little bit of contrast, and then during the night you can really see it, but it's still not like crazy powerful. It's gorgeous.
Fair. I actually find healer glam, like the healer tier armor and stuff like that, and the healer tombstone armor to be it's gonna be controversial maybe some of the worst armor in 14.
Yeah, it just depends on what you like, right?
Yeah, I find it to be a little bit samey after a certain point. Like it's all gowns and shit.
There's definitely been a lot of like feeling like some of the shit has been a little samey. So I definitely think there's something to that.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of some of the recent stuff has been, I don't want to say samey, but I think it's partly just the same way that like Shadowbringers had moments where it could be a little bit samey, and I think that like the further you get in the rear view mirror, the like broader the spectrum of options seems.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. No, but I definitely pick up what you're putting out. I remember looking at like some of the Anabacios armor doesn't look that different from some of like Tombstone armor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
New Tombstone armor is honestly a letdown for me personally because they cheaped on models. Most of the details are on texture.
That's fine.
Really? I was looking close at them and I didn't feel like that was any more true than anything prior. Is there like a particularly egregious one that I'll make sure to look at? Because like the fending was great on details. Big thing that surprised me for FF3 was being able to die on the overworld. I tested going to the Crystal Tower and I knew the towers were dangerous in 14, but I didn't expect an overworld instant game over. Yeah, that's partly just like older style SNES and NES games kind of just are like that. The weapons you love, Levi? Yeah. I do think the current glam is decent good. I think the Endwater artifact sets are my favorite. The Endwalker artifact sets in many of the cases are like the best they've ever done. There's some like...
Yeah.
It's the best Paladin one for sure. Gunbreaker one's really good, but that shouldn't surprise anyone.
Gunbreaker, I do like the Gunbreaker stuff, to be honest. I think a lot of the Gunbreaker like artifacts armor is really good. In a casual way, it suits like casual outfits as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's summon Titan. So we, yeah, the Gunbreaker stuff. A lot of this, there's a lot of good things that work with it. The Warrior was really excellent. Sage was great, but no shit. There's no prior Sage. White Mage I really liked White Mage. Scholar was good. Summoner was good. I mean, a lot of them were really good. Phoenix down. And basically, it's okay for me personally. At least it's not ruining my glam with non-removable flaming circle. Yeah, really, what they need to do is go back and make it so that you can toggle the circle and toggle the crystals. So, like the crystals on the tank thing, you should be able to have a toggle of some kind that lets you turn them off or on. Same with that hula hoop, that burning hula hoop of death.
Yeah. Yeah, toggling stuff in armor is something that the game plays with helmets, but could do more
it's not
with.
Doing enough. Yeah. They're really good.
The new crafting stuff is good. Yeah, I've seen some of it, Levi, and it's pretty good. The crafting sets are usually
I'm sorry.
pretty good.
I also said something wrong here. I am not using. I was thinking of Tombstone when the crafting set I really like. The Tombstone set I still really like. I think it's a little basic, but the Tombstone set I think is still actually quite good. At least for the tank as well. But I'm using the crafting set for my Gunbreaker. Yeah, Dancer and Dragoon are just all of them. The new crafting stuff though is so good. I guess I'll just spend money to look good. I mean, but also here's the thing I find is like I sometimes get excited when a set comes out that I really don't like. if I hear that other people like it.
Yeah.
Because again, it means that the more people there are who can express themselves in something that you don't like, it means the more your outfit will become unique, you know?
That's true. Having a better depth of stuff. Like I never see stuff that matches my tank glam. I do see some Thavnarian boleros and stuff more often now, but you know, now that it's cheap as anything. So, wait, Ashura, was that the summon?
No weapon.
Oh, okay.
Katana named after the Avatar of War. But yeah, I remember like 5.55 or around there, or 6.0 maybe. There was a lot more Thavnarian Sorol and all that, but there's definitely been a lot less of it lately.
Yeah, they have been tailing off, but it's like it used to be so hard to get, like back in Heaven's Ward. Well, you know, not hard, but it was a lot of effort.
It wasn't cheap as all I get out.
Yeah, you had to do a lot of maps.
Yeah. Don't forget healing and caster tombstone armor at the start of Endwalker was Rydia. Yes, all of the all the gear in the tank gear with Cecil, I believe.
But bizarrely, no King. Well,
yes,
no exact King.
Well, that's kind of Sadly, the first Endwalker tank chest piece don't work with Mikote tails stuck under armor too tight and it hurt. Oh. I really love the dance dragon. Crafting set is a nice departure into more casual modern clothes. Yeah, I'm always torn. I really don't like there being hyper modern clothes. I think the crafting set is a really good example of like the furthest I want them to go towards casual clothes. It's a battle I lost long ago. I mean, hell, I used the rebellion jacket or whatever for my monk. So like, there's just like there's a line between the like Korean jacket, like literally just b-boy hip-hop jacket item versus the like current crafting set. The crafting set we have I think is, you know, good.
Yeah.
Tombstone, aiming, casting, healing, striking sets. Yeah. My friends are in love with healer casting. Good. I really wanted the glam of the previous PvP series, but I was busy with life and could not get it. Oh, Mac, that sucks. So one thing though worth remembering is that the rewards from those tracks are going to come back eventually. They have stated that when they first introduced it. My big problem is my one PvP reward I want they'll never re-release, which is a reward from the Feast. That is my favorite glamour. It is my favorite armor in the entire game, and I will never get to have it, and it makes me very mad.
Oh.
It's like literally, it is straight up my favorite piece of armor in the entire game.
Oh, man.
Like, bar none, not even close. Not even a little bit close. And I will never be able to get it.
Oh, yeah, Infinite. I agree, Infinite. Like, we're allowed to have the modernity outfits, but it's better to have something, for me personally, that maybe has elements of it but doesn't commit.
There's a difference between having something that's got modernity and as an aspect to it but feels of the world versus something that's just straight from our world, and that line can sometimes be a very thin one. So like,
but if you enjoy the other one, by all means use it.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna judge people for using what they love. They've got put in the game, put it to use. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I'm gonna. Just because I, like, me not liking it being present. Once it's present, it's like it's fair game for people to put use to, and I'm not gonna hold umbrage for them over that. That'd just be silly.
Yeah.
Again, it's the difference between, so like there are a lot of like suits, right? There are a lot of like suit style things or like button up or like there are things that have just enough of a little bit of zest about them that make them feel like they're of the world of 14.
Yeah.
Versus Noctis's clothes. If you put Noctis's clothes in 14, it doesn't feel like 14.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not to knock on them. That's not to Noctis on them. It's just that it's that. And maybe maybe you guys disagree. Maybe it does feel like 14 to you. But to me, like the skull buttons, the pattern of the shirt, there's something about it that is, it's not just about modernity, it's more than that. As a Miko and a Paladin, relic armor drives me crazy because of the cape, but my basic bitchness overrides my dislike of the tail cape collision. Yeah. I love capes. I want more capes, and I want more I want more armor pieces with capes that are dyeable in interesting ways. And that is part of the reason that my favorite armor in the game is oh my god. Oh, I love it so much. I wouldn't totally discount the feast stuff coming back in some other color at some point or something. So that's what I've been hoping for Forever Alive. The problem is this was like a top. If you are #1 of your server, you get this armor for feast, and it was done for 1 year. Or like one feast. So I don't know that it's likely that they will. I hope I'm wrong. I really, 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 really hope I'm wrong.
We need a lot of fell NPC to yell at you if you wear capes. That's me.
No capes! I want more capes, I want more scarves, like big flowy common writer Doctor Who scarves. Oh, do I oh no, I don't have my stuff. Oh, I have the 4th Doctor scarf, like an actual 20-foot long one. Edge. Father, mother! Thank heavens you're all right. You're alive? You want to get the queen?
Sure. Come with us, Edge.
Yes, come with us. Where will we go?
To hell!
To hell! Oh, you got it. What?
Oh.
Fools. What a terrible fate.
Not good,
Burn to ashes.
It's very elegant.
Yeah.
I like the queen's design, but the king's is kind of indistinct.
What's going on? Father! Mother!
Of course you can take a break room. Don't sunk cost fallacy this shit.
Oh, yeah. Let's do a Mist Dragon to start with. I do like that they explained Crown's Guard clothes stuff in Noctis's party, where it's meant to be damage resistant, ideal for better. It explains why the clothes don't regenerate damage.
It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Tom Baker scarf for the win. By the way, yeah, I think I know the feast army you're talking about because I had the same feeling. Yeah, I had a Goth Doctor Who scarf. All the stripes were black.
Is that just a black scarf?
I think that's also just the most Ray thing Ray said today.
Yeah.
Oh, they color swap, palette swap for their humanity.
Oh. Oh, wait.
King and Queen. Edge.
I can tell I'm tired because I thought Kane was a fish falling on the king then.
We no longer belong here. I love it's not a cutscene that you actually still have it.
Yeah, I like that. I'm sorry, Edge.
Sorry, someone was doing like an industrial lawnmower nearby.
Oh, nice. It's tough life of royalty. Yeah, royalty doesn't tend to do so well in 14.
Evelyn lies in good hands.
I like that they break free.
Serve our people well. Don't leave me!
Farewell,
my son.
Oh.
It was both of them.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Edge. Ah, here it is.
Lugae. He overstepped his bounds this time. Rubicante, you twisted devil! I'm sorry for your loss, but it was Lugae who turned your parents into monsters. Is that the first body horror example we've gotten so far? Like true, like against someone's will, turned into a monster?
Yeah, I think so. I think it. Yeah, I think so. I like that they characterize Rubicante as not like they wouldn't have done that previously. Like, it's a cool bit of characterization for a villain.
Yeah, he simultaneously is a villain, but he's also like has compassion towards man, which is actually appropriate for how we got him in 14.
Yeah.
My only wish is to battle you fairly. To hell with your self-righteous blabbering! I admire your spirit, but anger can never draw out one's true strength. It blinds you to what you truly need to see. Shut up! I'll show you the power of rage!
Oh, jeez, wow.
Anger invoked. Edge's dormant powers. Edge's learned Flood and Blitz. Well, this is interesting. Still, nothing can penetrate my cloak of flame. Not even ice.
Wouldn't ice be the worst thing for penetrating flame?
Well, you know all about penetration, Neri.
True.
Let's use an ether. I shall restore you to full strength. Do not disappoint me. Fair enough. His void call. Bum 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 bum. I don't want to cast Reflect in case he can... Shell. That's what we're going to go with. In the darkness, be by fear consumed. Autumn cold, where not ever blooms. If you're curious about Rubicante's story in Final Fantasy XIV and would like to know more about his motivations and backstories, why not go check out our lyrical lore, Forged in Crimson.
Hell yeah.
Ray, if you would like to leak it, that'd be quite nice.
I like that he's just like a streaker, basically. He's like a flasher.
Haha! Okay, so you're just gonna keep on... Okay, now I can attack. Summon... Let's do Mist Dragon to keep healing up. Oh!
My brain goes empty when I hear this song. It's just too catchy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ray Ray.
Okay. Phoenix down. That's gonna take Rose out, I bet. Oh, hey, check it out. Let's just keep up Mist Dragons because the healing is. Ah, fucking frickin' frack. Just need to keep her up for a second. Oh, it's because his Shing's. Oh crap.
Yeah, he has this little thing with his cloak.
Yeah, I fucked that up. Oh my god, Rosa survived with 1 health?
Nice, good job, Rosa. Phoenix up.
Okay. Oh, that came. Oh, thank god. I still don't have Cure. Oh, I do have Curaja. Okay.
Yeah. Rosa has it, right?
Yeah, I thought we didn't have it. Sweet. Ninjutsu, Flood.
I still can't believe that I thought that Rosa was Sid's daughter. I don't know where I got that from.
Yeah! I definitely had that stuck in my brain. Dude, this fight feels good. Oh, fuck. Okay, Edge, don't do it now.
Uh-oh. No, Edge.
Through the flash of the mortal cannot contest the embodiment of Earth. If I throw... Let's try... Oh, fuck a duck in the edge and the butt? Okay.
I'm sure someone has.
Someone found an Edge cosplayer.
Oh yeah. Back in like the 90s.
Okay. Here, we'll go Phoenix down. Okay, come on. Damn it.
Really, Rag? Also, Rag thinks...
What's up?
Rag has said that they think Sid said something like, "You best not put my daughter or granddaughter into trouble" about Rosa.
We checked this last time.
We checked
right?
the wiki, but it didn't say anything about it. Can someone confirm this for us? Like, I really thought that they were.
Maybe there's a difference between localizations.
Maybe. Are you gonna play the new Silent Hill 2 remake when it comes out? I don't know if I am.
I'm gonna play it for sure. I don't know how it's gonna go.
Man, I just feel really bad giving Konami money for Kojima's. Well, sorry, not Kojima's royalties, but I feel really bad giving Konami money after what they did to Kojima. Also,
yeah.
So I do not like the studio making the game.
Yeah, I haven't played. I know the reasons you have for disliking for what they did with the not the Witness. What the fuck is it called? But yeah, I also the like their choices around the music so far has also me like thinking I don't have high hopes. I actually have very low expectations, but I have such a love for Silent Hill 2. I can't not.
I know, you're right. Maybe I'll play it for free. Wink, 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 wink. I also heard they're remaking a Metal Gear Solid game. I think that would be a step too far for me. A game that Kojima...
They're remaking Metal Gear 3.
Yeah, a game
Delta.
that Kojima made that they're remaking it like after doing that. Like I don't think I could I don't think I could play that.
As someone who like didn't have a full experience of 3 when it came out, this maybe like my time to engage with it. So I respect and agree and understand what you're saying, but I might be
I'm still gonna try and make us do after we finish the Final Fantasy. I'm still gonna try and make us do a Metal Gear playthrough on the channel.
Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Oh fuck. Oh god damn it. Nir, you want to see if he has any kind of weakness? I mean, I'm assuming it's just don't attack when cloaks up.
Yeah, I'll check.
Cloaks. Really? Did you have to fucking...
Tactics? Are we gonna do tactics?
I look, if I can get in the... Here's my thing. If I can get ahead of schedule on putting out content, if I can actually pull myself together on that, I would love to take more time to do stuff like tactics, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The problem is that like I kind of want to be able to play some games in the way I play games, which is one sitting, do like 18-hour sitting of a game, but the problem is that just doesn't work well with Niniri or the vast majority of people.
Yeah, definitely you should do some games like that. We should still do some other ones as a group, though. Ice. Ice. Who's weak to ice?
Oh, shit. No. Fuck. I used ice at the wrong time. Come on. The fuck!
This is a kind of hard boss. It's kind of awkward, to be honest, but... Infinite.
Is there a Shiva? Yes, there is.
Yeah, just... Oof. Ow. He hits like a truck.
Oh, no, the fire is gonna get her. Does it even do damage to him? No.
Oh,
it
crap.
Great. Oh, come on!
Oh my god. Oh. Oh, lame.
I swear to God, the timing for this is just ridiculous.
It's not hugely intuitive. Oh, if you hit him with fire while his cloak is up, he will raise all dead party members.
Okay.
I think it's like honorable, like you helped me, I'll help you.
Do you have any elixirs or anything? I just want to see what I've got to work with. Does not seem like it. Let's test it.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Hey!
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
We can work with that. So hope I timed this right.
I believe.
Oh, thank God.
Apparently, Kane's jump is really good on him, but I assume we've just been using it anyway.
Yeah, I've been using it on repeat. The problem is I have him in... He's for some reason looks... Well, no, he's in the front row. Ice! Ice. Rubicante. Yeah!
Oh, nice.
I don't know why he just cast it on himself, but I will not question it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well fought. But this is not the end. I shall rise again.
Nice. Okay, I gotta go bed after this.
Yeah. We'll get to a safe spot and we'll call it there.
Yeah.
Actually, let me real quick just check. I just want to see. Eblin, Boss Rubicante. Okay, yes, okay, so we want to finish this out. Okay, so we have a good stopping place in a second here.
Okay, that's
Even the weak become strong when they work together. I am most impressed. Until we meet again. Yeah, not dissimilar to
yeah, very, very definitely sort of influence.
Father, Mother, you can rest in peace now. Your Highness!
Oh, okay.
Gramps! Pray, let us fight with you. Where is the devil Rubicante? We got him. It's over. Splendid! These people helped me out. Oh my, it's you. So who is this Golbez? Rubicante's master. He plans to gather the crystals so he can reach the moon. Why the moon? We don't know exactly. We think he seeks some great power that's hidden there.
We have to stop him.
So he's the evil mastermind behind all this. I'm going with you. But, Your Highness, Eblin needs you. Eblin can wait. We've got to stop this guy before it's too late. But... Nah, stop worrying and go home. I'll be fine. Very well. Everyone, please take good care of our prince. May fortune favor you, Your Highness. Thank you, everyone. Believe it.
That'll be out.
Okay, let's go get Golbez.
We need to get the crystals first.
Right. Lead the way. So we're almost there. We just have to get out of here.
That's cool. Let's go.
It's a trap! Apparently I'm Admiral Akbar. Ow, that hurt. That was a nasty drop. Dude, Kane, you're a dragoon. You can leap.
Yeah, that's true.
With the way that Silent Hill 2 Remake developed have handled mental health and trauma in the past, I'm not at all confident in their ability to make a good Silent Hill game. Yeah. But at least there's Silent Hill F. Yeah, sorry, I'm at duty at a moment when the dungeon can check. Yeah, I had a PS1 version and 3D versions. Developers. I called it when I was talking to him in Baron somewhere, I think. Okay. We'll look into it for sure. Are you guys going to do tactics? Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, we can definitely do tactics for sure. I think I should replay tactics. I have played tactics once, and I want to keep trying to appreciate it more because of my problems that I have with Matsuno style. Not Amano, Matsuno.
Yeah.
And I want to love tactics more than I do.
If we do get the time, we'll see it, right? We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Worst case, I'll just do a one-sitting thing of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I imagine more evil Elio that says something like, it's fine to have your opinions, even if they're the wrong ones. Guys, it's fine to have your opinions. You're just objectively wrong about the subjective thing. Yeah, basically, right? Yeah, I pictured me and Party trying to do Mount Ordeal's Extreme. Flames licking your gills. Why are you looking at me? Yeah. We just got to get out of here and it'll be good to go. I guess we can start doing Ray. If you're around, we could start doing wrap up stuff in the meantime.
Oh yeah.
Friendly reminder that there will be no stream over on Gaming Kinda today with Chris as he is out of town. Also, if you want to support us, you can offer us $1, get access to Archon for $1. You get your game becomes green, and you get access to all sorts of fun emotes. For those of you who have emotes, if you'd like to share your favorite one in the chat right now, now is a great time to do so. Beyond that, if you'd like to support us, you can give us a couple dollars over on Patreon and get your name in the banner above my head currently, and also some fun rewards for there, like changes to the color of your name over in the Discord. Speaking of the Discord, if you're not a member yet and you'd like to join it, go to our Discord, eorzeanarchives.gg/Eorzean Archives, and come join our community. We do a lot of Final Fantasy XIV content together and all sorts of other fun things. Talk about lore, share pet photos over in the pets channel, stuff like that. But yeah, I wonder if I missed anything.
Yeah.
According to the wiki, he isn't, but he acts like a father figure to both Sid and maybe Rosa. Yeah, he definitely acts like a father figure. That's for sure we confirmed. He thinks of Cecil like his own son.
Yeah, the situation with Rosa, it seems like 3 people at least have that implanted memory. So that must be like a mistranslation at some point then.
Raven, how you doing? Well, I guess I'll be heading out. Have a nice day. Yeah, have a good one, Raven. I mean, Cecil and Rosa. Yeah, I follow Rag. Also, I don't think I asked you guys. How are you all doing this fine day? This fine Wednesday afternoon. Strange thing to ask right at the end, but maybe PS1 English translation just completely misread the scene. Could be. I had that misremembrance, and the versions that I have played were the DS remake, PlayStation 1. I played a version of... I played a 2D version that was, I think, portable.
I think my first one that I played was the iOS version.
I'm trying to remember what the first... Because I played 4 before the DS remake came out, but in a portable format. It never came out on the, It never came out on the, Game Boy or anything, right? Or did it?
Didn't it? Yeah,
There was a GBA version? Okay, then the GBA version must have been the first version I played. It's just the Mandela effect. Yeah, Ruined, definitely.
FF4 Advance. Oh, isn't that the one that has After Years on it? Or am I thinking wrongly?
I don't remember playing After Years, so it could, but it'd be surprising.
Oh, you could change party members in it? Okay.
Could not get out of bed earlier. I believe as someone who has had similar struggles the past couple of months, I feel you, man. That is really hard. I'm glad you're up. Phoenix down. I promise, Niniri, we're almost there. We just have to get out of here. And the thing is, if we can get out of here, I can then do a lot of farming off stream. Whereas if we stay here, I have very limited options about.
Yeah, don't worry, babe. It's okay. I don't mind. I enjoy your company. I enjoy all of our stream viewers' company. I will stay awake. I'm not drunk enough to fall asleep on stream this time.
I'm doing nothing, but I'm fine while doing nothing. Look, if you are happy, that is the important part of that. Sid mentions his daughter and Baron at the beginning of the game. It's not Rosa, but an unplayable NPC. Interesting. Maybe that's what... Interesting room.
Okay,
Interesting.
Infinite. I'm not in bed. My legs are in bed. But my upper body is in my chair. So, technically...
What?
My bed's next to my chair. So I can just, lean back.
An enemy airship. Let's use it to get out of here.
But that's stealing. Rydia.
This is not the time. Who cares? Besides, we'll put it to better use. Gotta say, I'm with Edge on that one.
Yeah, I am as well. I mean, this is war. It could be another trap.
Hey, she's not bad. Let's call her the Falcon. What do you think, Rydia?
What does it matter? Let's get going.
Okay, now I'm back with Rydia.
Yeah,
yes, let's go.
Around.
Falcon, take us up. I'm not sure I love Edge. I appreciate that he has a different voice, like a style of voice for this cadre, right?
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
Okay, we're almost there. We can get completed after all is said and done. You return to the Dwarven Castle. First off, we can get the information. Get the Falcon able to fly over. Okay, yes. There's one last thing we have to do.
Yeah, Infinite. I'm gonna slowly immerse myself in bed, gradually as Elio is finishing the stream.
There's just a time lapse camera going on in the background. All you.
You've returned. Hydaelyn, you've returned. Were you able to recover the crystals?
No, I'm sorry.
I see. Golbez is very persistent. He's trying to open the sealed cavern by force. It'll only be a matter of time before he succeeds. I want you to get the crystal before he does. Luca, come here. Yeah.
I wonder if Luca and 10 is named after the same thing.
Your necklace. You're doing Luca, right? This is the key to open the sealed cavern. Oh, fucking hell, that's not the right voice. This is the key to open the sealed cavern. With this necklace, the entrance will allow you to pass. We must protect the last crystal.
We'll do our best. Receive Luca's necklace.
I like that Luca's playable in After Years.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, she's.
Man, I need to. I don't remember After
I
Years.
feel like we should play it.
Okay. Is it short or is it long?
It's shorter than this.
Okay, that we got. Turn the room. Then Sid in the infirmary. Okay, yeah, I have to talk to Sid in the infirmary. You can slowly crawl on as Elia finishes. Yeah. Thanks, Ren. I've naturally assumed his daughter must be Rosa. She's the only female character we meet by then. Yeah, that must be it. But it's definitely I think we've noticed like multiple people have that mistake. So I think it's definitely not just you. There's the boy.
Fuck it. Hey, where's me food? There we go.
Sid! There we go. Sid!
I can't believe it.
How did you? Who is this geezer?
Geezer? Who's this snot-nosed kid?
Watch your mouth, windbag.
You got a name to go with that yap of yours, Runt.
You're speaking to Edge, Prince of Eblin. It's hard to believe, but it's true. I'm also handsome and really skilled. But I'll leave it.
Stop that. She's in no condition to be antagonized by you. Iridia's got you whipped, eh, kid?
Shut up! Jeez.
She's like mentally 12 still. So, what goal base?
He still holds all the crystals except one.
But we can't go after the last crystal, since we left the Enterprise at the surface.
We've taken an enemy airship, but can't fly it over the magma.
I guess it's time for me to shine again. What would you do without me, eh? Fucking hell. She's not that injured.
Back to bed! Wait till he'll hear you.
Ah, can it give me a hand? I think he's fine.
Yeah. I love that not only did he survive the drop off an airship, but he also survived what amounts to a nuclear explosion.
Yeah, it's a little bit it's giving what's his name? The
Dash?
Dash, it's giving Dash. A bit disappointing, but not so bad. Like it's not like
yeah, why is this not disappointing?
It's not like the whole length of the game. It's like 20 minutes, an hour.
Yeah, and I also think it doesn't pretend like, I don't know, there's something about it, like he doesn't make like a final speech. There's something about his cadence of it where it's not like Yang's fake out is honestly in some way. You know what? Does anyone actually die other than Tella?
No. Now you can fly over anything. Thank you.
Sid. Now they're just fucking with us.
Right?
But this is funny, because this is like...
He must be pooped. He's overworked himself again.
Thank you, Sid.
No room, because they come back, right? The twins.
No, because they are cured of the petrification,
Yeah.
right? It's interesting. It's like the long legacy of fake out deaths in that like continue from in parts of 14 are also present in 3 and 4. I do think that the big difference. I think there's a difference. I think the differences are how they're handled, right? So like I think you can see it in Desh versus Sid here. But in 14, you have when some fake outs are straight fake outs and some are explicitly communicated to you as not like the person is not dead and or also is recoverable from the get-go. And so it's a different vibe. Definitely the vibe is what it... FF2 likely has the highest body count of playable characters. It's an interesting point. Yeah. Sid really has Chief O'Brien vibes from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Safe to let chronic overworkers work while barely alive, yeah.
I do think that's true with FF2, but like FF2 just kills all of its optional characters, like its side characters, it just kills them all.
Yeah. Okay. We got to where we need to be. Now we can you can drift off to Dreamland. Friendly reminder, Saturday we've got musical stream, but beyond that, we should be off for content in terms of the next couple days, as we try to continue on, living life a little bit. Friendly reminder, Monday and Tuesday we've got MSQ stream. Wednesday new videos will come out. I should have a new video up for next week. And then Thursday, obviously we have this lovely thing that we did. Did I say Wednesday earlier? This lovely Wednesday that me and you play on Thursdays. I should know this by now. But yeah. Totally. Niniri, any final things you'd like to say? Any comments, thoughts?
Yeah. I like Edge as Naruto. That's pretty much my thought. Oh, and I'm glad that at the final 5 minutes of the stream, I found my Sid voice again.
The true overcoming. Okay. Yeah. Well, with all that said, then I hope you guys all have a weekday. I am now starting to get really hungry myself. So, cheers, a good evening tide to y'all, and we'll see y'all on a merry time whenever we do see you. I don't know where I'm going with this. Have a good night, guys.
Have a great night.
Cheers.